Alright, so welcome everyone to Totally Online Gaming Group's role-playing game where we have our campaign, The Blackest Heart, where we get everyone together from all over the US as part of our group, and we play Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Uh, got a couple quick announcements. Since we are approaching the holiday season, and our game night falls directly on Christmas Day, there will be uh, no session that day, so we will not be live streaming or recording anything for a week there. We'll be taking a break. As well as one other very, very cool announcement. We actually now have an official sponsor, our very first one. Yay!
Woo.
It is Critical Hit Gaming Supplies. And if you look on our Twitch page, you will see right down on the panels underneath the video streaming, you can see them listed there, and you can just click on the picture there to check out all the cool stuff they have. Dice trays, dice bags, minis, a whole bunch of stuff. Please check them out. They're really cool. Also, I will, when we post this on YouTube, since once again we are not live streaming since I'm on the road, we're just recording this episode and putting it on YouTube. I will include the links for them, as well as links to our Facebook, our Discord, our Twitch channel, our Twitter, all that fun stuff on there so that you guys can, you know, link up to the various different things that we have available for you to follow the game, follow what we're doing, and even joining us on the Discord and asking questions, things like that. So, without further ado, we're going to welcome you to The Blackest Heart. So, everybody, where we left off last time. Last game, we had Oak and Rhea, who had just secured some transportation, several horses, starting to get ready to leave the capital city of Asteron and make their journey towards Oceanica. While they were heading back to the tavern, or I should say a tavern, they didn't go back to the original one, they ended up coming in there and being, well, let's say their attention being drawn to the fact that there was a horse human, or as they called it, pony person, uh, in the bar, at which point Oak immediately ran up and was just fawning all over this strange new creature that he had never seen before. They ended up making some very, very good new friends, and all decided to travel together. But not before some bad news reached Oak and Rhea's ears that it looked like there was a very, very strong possibility that Dalian and Songbird had been slain. And this happening so soon after already hearing word that Zorn had been killed. Rhea decided to run up to the room they had in the inn and deal with things in her own way, while Oak needed some alone time and ran out of the city and into the woods, where he just contemplated on everything that had been going on in the last few days. But eventually, they came back together with their new companions at the tavern where they had first met them, and decided to pack up and all head together, the safety in numbers thing, to Oceanica. And we left off as they were leaving the city. That's where you guys are. Tell me what you want to do.
Can Diana play her lute just as they're traveling?
That's entirely up to you. I mean, it's up to you and the rest of the group. If they're willing to
Oh, they
listen
don't
to
get a
you,
choice. She would play it whether they want to hear it or not.
that's up to you.
It's
I'm
not
not.
safe to loot and drive.
Well, Galder's driving, so.
Galder, seeing that
Do not buck me off. Do not buck me off.
our bard is playing her flute, I'm gonna play my pan flute.
Very
Lute,
good.
not flute. Lute.
Oh, lute, flute.
Yeah,
I
she's
come
only good at
from, it makes
stringed
sounds.
instruments.
Subtle Flavor is gonna play the drums with his stomach.
And this is why they tackle with her.
Jacob is gonna read his book.
Read the book.
What? What? No.
She's
Jacob
gotta sing
reading?
or something.
So, are you all like
But
a
you can
band?
see a slight tap
That works.
against the side.
Are we a band?
Well, no, but I'm naturally gifted for entertainment and song anyway, so they just kind of follow my lead.
I see.
All right. So, what I'm gonna do here is
Wait, is one of
I
them
am.
playing a flute?
I think Galder, you're playing a pan flute. You said.
Yeah, I'm playing pan flute.
Hey, pony person. Um, I have this cool flute. You might actually like it. And I'm gonna pull out a bone flute.
Oh god.
Do you want this?
That is a very
Who
nice.
screen shared?
I think it's May. Sorry about that.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm trying to change my name in VC, but I'm not sure how.
Don't worry about it for now. In the recording when I put it up, I actually go through and I cover up all the names anyway.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yep.
Sure, I will take your flute.
Alright, I'll give them specifically a bone flute.
All right.
Diana would see that and just go, how many people have you killed to figure out how to make a bone flute?
Oh, I didn't make it, but I did kill some things for it. How many people did
That's
I
not
kill?
disturbing at all.
I guess I'll attempt to play it.
I don't know, like 7? I think.
Not disturbing at all.
Don't worry, Oak was there. Oak helped.
Equally disturbing.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right.
I'm gonna go
So
back to my loot.
all of you should see on Roll20, which I don't think we have everyone logged into Roll20.
No, we are missing
We're missing.
the kitty cat.
Yep.
So bright.
I'm sorry. Oh, right.
Yep.
I'm a cat.
Right.
I'm
Yep.
a kitty cat.
I'll be
So-
there.
I'll
be
there.
Once
Once everyone's logged in, you should all see on there the world map. And currently on the world map, you guys are right there. Capital city of Asteron.
Oh, that's so weird.
Okay. And your goal is way off towards the northwest, way up here, the capital city of Oceanica in the Kingdom of Arkspire. So you've got all these. Hopefully this should get you kind of centered where you can see both cities. Way down here is Asteron, way up here is Oceanica. So your travel across here is going to take quite a while to get there, because you are basically traveling. Let's see if we can do this.
hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Yeah, you're basically traveling about 320, 325 miles to get all the way over there.
Oh, that's essentially just going
And
to
that's-
Texas.
And that's a straight line. So, counting the fact that unless you plan on traveling a straight line, which
I wouldn't
know.
recommend it.
then, that means leaving the roads, it's probably closer to about 500 miles if you take the main roads. Okay, so it's quite a haul.
Let's see, 500 miles.
500
Mm.
miles, you guys can travel approximately, let me just double check here. Travel. Alright. Okay, so basically,
About
it
20
depends. A little more than that. Because actually, yeah, right about that. If you stick to the roads, because at the speed you're traveling with the horses, and remember you've got Bean who travels a little slower because he's not a riding horse. He's a pack horse, basically. He's moving at about 240 feet per minute or so. So that's about 20 miles or so a day that you guys can make. And then, you know, that puts you right at about 25 days or so if you're consistent in your pace the entire way. Okay.
So it's going to take us about a month.
About a month of travel or so, yeah. And that's assuming that there's no
Bumps.
no bumps in the road, no obstacles, no problems along the way, ambushes, that kind of stuff. Or also assuming that
I'm
it
looking at
is
you, damn.
bright, clean, sunny days. Oh, I don't do any of that stuff.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, but that's also assuming that the weather stays nice for the entire trip.
Rude.
Okay, because if it's rainy and nasty and muddy out, that's going to slow you down. So plan on at least a month's journey. And you guys would have, prior to leaving the city, gotten sufficient supplies, food and stuff like that, rations, for such a journey. Okay? I'm not going to make you have to go through all the shopping for various things like that, but yeah, that you would have planned ahead for that and had that amount of stuff. And especially the 4 new players, because that was your guys' plan all along, was to eventually head to Oceanica, so you probably have had that stuff packed up for a couple days already and ready to go. And then just adding some more for Oak and Rhea, that wasn't much that you had to do that. So,
I'm sorry, but Diana would have made the joke that maybe if they come across enough farmers, they can just feed Galder at their parts.
I don't
You
eat
like hay, right?
I do not eat hay. I eat the same food you eat. You've seen
And
me
mushrooms.
eat food. Well, yes, a lot of those.
all right. So, to kind of answer your question there, Rhea, in a little more detail, that yes, you did indeed take a closer look at that dagger that you got, a little while back, and you have the identify spell, correct?
No.
No. Okay.
Meh.
Then in that case, I need you to give me an Arcana check to get any further information about it. No, you're not sure. You're not sure. It's neat. It's
It glows.
still a little dirty. Maybe a little bit of rust on it. Not much. You could clean it up a little bit, but other than that, you can't really figure out much else about it.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys are out on the road. Is there anything you want to do just before you actually head out? I'll give you a chance to do anything that you want or need to do before that.
I'm gonna tie a 50-foot rope to my arm and connect it to Nightmare, so Nightmare can't run away.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna hop on a sack that Bean is carrying and just kind of rest and look at this dagger in the sack.
Okay. So you are having Nightmare walk alongside the horses attached to a rope.
Yeah.
Okay. You realize Nightmare is, basically
Yep.
still a puppy.
Yeah, puppies can't move that fast.
Yeah. He's Nightmare's not going to be able to keep up with the horses.
How
Okay.
big is Nightmare then?
I would say probably about the size of, say,
I was thinking like
large
a puppy
cat,
husky.
a large cat, or or maybe like a schnauzer, like a small
I
schnauzer.
will take them into the sack with me.
Yeah, no problem fitting Nightmare in there with you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a puppy like that would not be able to keep up and wouldn't be able to keep up the endurance for traveling all day like that. They just get worn out. Anything else before you guys head out?
I have so many things now. Ah! Oh, you just added everything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I saw
Yes.
all of my buttons now, and I'm like,
Yep.
why didn't do this?
Yes. You guys will notice, except for Rhea, I didn't add them for you because you said don't worry about it for you.
Yeah,
But
I
if you
can
want me
handle
to, I can.
roll 20.
But I added for everyone else all of your skills. If you click on your icon, and right now all of your icons are in the lower right corner of the world map.
Except for me.
Okay. Well, they started there. Uh, if you click on your icon, you will see at the top of the screen there are basically little hotkey buttons for every single skill, as well as things like your initiative, for your saves. Uh, I think that's all I've got on there.
You did
Yep,
it for Rhea, too.
I did?
Yeah, it's
Oh, I
there.
didn't think I did. I guess I did it for everyone then. Okay. If you don't want them, you can just go into your character sheet
It doesn't
and go to the
matter.
attributes tab and say you want to hide them. Okay. But I thought I'd let everyone know you've got those there, so it makes it really easy to just say, oh, DM asked for a skill check. Oh, I click on that skill. There you go. All right. So if there's nothing else that anyone wants to do, you guys are heading out on day one of your journey. It is probably about 8 o'clock or so in the morning. So the sun's been up for a little while, hour and a half or so. And it's a nice day out. There's a slight breeze that is kind of nice, considering that you are approaching the summertime in the land, and temperatures are starting to rise pretty significantly. But that breeze is helping to keep it comfortable. And there is a little bit of cloud cover, but just nice white fluffy clouds, nothing looking menacing on the horizon.
Oh, I should probably find something that she would
And there is
say.
and there is also, uh, as you're heading out, you can see that this road is a very well traveled road. It is, definitely been used a lot for trade, or just travel between the major
Ah,
cities. And you would know ahead of time that the road that you're on, which is leading almost directly west out of the city, uh, the first major city that it hits it goes directly between Asteron and the capital city of the Kingdom of Toril, uh, which is called, let me see, Riverstone. Okay. Oh, actually, I believe Rivenstone. I'd have to zoom in to read it clearer.
I forgot. So she has two instruments. One's the lute, and the other one's like the violin looking one, right?
Yeah, I think you got a lyre. Lyre.
Then I know exactly what she would be she wouldn't be using the lute. She'd be using her lyre, and I know
Okay.
exactly what she would be playing.
Okay. Well, do you want to
I don't
share?
know if any of you know it though. The Lost Woods theme from Legend of Zelda.
It is a pretty sick song.
Yeah. Okay. Well, heck, give
He's
me
just like, no.
give a performance check
Why?
to see how well you play it. You are killing it. You are absolutely killing it. I mean, it's as if you wrote the song. You know this song perfectly, and you guys hear this awesome melody, this awesome song that
He's very
Diana
bouncy.
is that Diana is playing, and it's kind of energizing you a little bit. You guys feel like, yeah, this is good. We're heading out on a journey. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, we can do this. Also on the road, which is, as I said, very obviously very heavy traveled, you do see uh, in the distance it looks like some wagons which are coming towards the city. You see it coming out of the city. There seems to be kind of a steady flow of traffic, mostly foot traffic. Uh, some are following the road. Some are, you know, going a little ways and then turning off down small paths. Maybe they're uh, farmers, or people that live close by outside the city that have gone into the city for the evening and then taken care of business, stayed for the night, and then gone back out this morning. But there's a pretty steady flow of traffic going out. There's also quite a few people coming in, also looking like they're coming from kind of the surrounding area in the wilderness, and you can definitely see some farmland and some fields that are out around the city, and it looks like there's a lot of people that are kind of coming and going from those areas. As you continue traveling down the road, though, eventually, come around noontime, you notice that most of the people that you've seen that have been kind of traveling alongside or near where you are, because you're on horseback, you've been passing them, and it seems like there's, after a couple of hours of travel, most people are not on the road. There's really pretty much just you guys and this long road heading to the west. You continue down it for a few more hours, and by now it's about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it starts to get a little darker as some more clouds move in and start to turn a little bit dark and cover the sun. But nothing ever seems to come of it. No rain actually comes down, just looks threatening for a little while. Eventually you keep pushing on, and it is now about 6:37 in the evening, and you can start to see that the sun is getting close to the horizon, and it's probably time to make a camp.
Wow, it gets dark really early for summertime.
I said it's heading towards the horizon. You guys can continue to push on.
I just find that odd. Where I live, the sun doesn't even start reaching a low point until like 8 p.m.
It all depends on where you're at in the hemisphere.
That's during the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Subtle Flavor would like to forage for food, see if there's anything edible nearby.
Sure. Go ahead and give a survival check then.
All right. Let's test these new macros.
Yeah. They should work just fine. I tested them before.
Yeah,
so
17.
Yay, we're not starving.
Yeah, you actually, as you're foraging, you managed to find some natural root vegetables that just kind of grow wild. Kind of like tubers of some kind, or very small potato-like roots that are edible. You also find some berries on a couple bushes. You basically are able to, with that search and that check, you're able to find enough stuff that you could actually provide everyone with a nice fresh meal of freshly foraged stuff for the evening.
If they're stopping for the evening to cook, can Diana go hunting for small animal life?
Sure. Just be a survival check.
Let's see how badly this works. Hey! Can I get a fucking elk?
No, there's no elk around, but you do manage to, with your bow, add to Subtle's fresh fruits and vegetables, and as well as you've got some herbs and stuff that you can use to season things. You manage to take down a couple rabbits and bring those back and be able
Then
to
can I at
add
least
those to the
get,
mix.
Can it be more than just a couple? I mean, I got a 22.
Yeah. Well, it also depends on what's out there and in the area.
Well, if it's a foresty area, there's more than plenty of rabbits.
Mm,
It's probably a boar, too, but that's pushing it.
maybe. It depends on what other things are in the area. Rabbits don't necessarily hang around if there's predators that live in the area.
You
So,
would be surprised. That or the rabbits I have out here are just idiots.
they might be. If you tried talking to them, you could figure it out.
Alright, Rhea is going to continue training Nightmare.
Okay.
Oh, could you
what
just get
what
one
do you
rabbit
do
per
to?
person?
Sure, I'll allow that. So Rhea, so go ahead. what do you do to actually train Nightmare? Kind of give me an
Rhea's gonna like hop down on all fours, kind of imitate the puppy, put the dagger in her mouth, and try to like get the dagger in Nightmare's mouth, and like kind of have them hit the daggers together.
Could
Okay. And
could
how long do you want to spend trying to do this?
Until Nightmare shows sufficient frustration.
Okay.
um could Diana show Rhea a trick? It's kind of like it. Anytime Nightmare does it correctly, you click your tongue and then give them a treat of some kind to encourage what you want them to do.
All right, I'll give him a
Well,
treat
here's the
if it
question.
goes
Now
well.
that's something that you might know, but does
No, like,
Diana actually know how to do that?
well, probably the gypsies would have had a lot of different pets and horses and other things because it can be used with horses and everything else as well.
All right.
So could she tell Rhea that to try
That
and teach her to help
that's
Nightmare?
between you and Rhea.
Small child.
Huh? Are you talking to me?
Yep.
Oh, I actually okay. My bad. What are you trying to teach the dog?
Well, I'm gonna teach him to fight with me with the dagger.
Do you want to know a trick to encourage him to hold the dagger?
Sure.
So, this is a trick we would use with the horses a lot among my, I guess you could call it a tribe, clan, group, whatever you want to call it. What we would do is anytime the animal would do something that we wanted or encouraged, we would click our tongues loudly and then give them a treat. The more you encourage them and reward them for the behavior you want, the more they're likely to remember it.
Okay, I
And they
think I
learn
got
faster.
Okay. So, if you want to try to add that into what you were doing, that's fine.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and give me an animal handling check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So, that's the first 10 minutes. You said you're going to go until Nightmare seems frustrated, right?
Yeah.
So
But like the
you're
first
giving.
time he holds it in his mouth, I'm gonna give him like 7 treats.
Okay.
No. You don't want to give him too many.
You said
Otherwise,
you,
he'll
s-
just think anything he picks up is what you give him a treat for.
you said the more I give him, the more encouraged he'll be.
The more, okay, the more he does what you want, then you give him a treat. The more he does it, the more he gets.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, anyway, that was the first 10 minutes. Go ahead and roll again for the next 10 minutes. Okay. Next 10 minutes, one more time. Okay.
There.
So he lasts about 20 minutes before you're kind of getting into the 30-minute time frame. You're starting to move into there, and he's had enough of it. But you did manage to get him to do it a few times, probably about, I'll say, 6 different times. He actually held the dagger in his mouth uh, when you commanded him to.
Nice. Cool.
All right. So what's everyone else doing?
I would like to cook a meal with all the ingredients we gathered.
She would be
Uh,
skinning the rabbits and
so
preparing, helping him.
I will prepare a tuber toss meal with a side of rabbit.
Outstanding. All right. Go ahead and do a cooking utensils check. That's going to be basically a skill check with wisdom
All
as
right.
the base.
Wisdom.
So it's your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency modifier plus the d20.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how to roll
All right.
wisdom.
So you're gonna put /R space 1d20 plus sign whatever your wisdom modifier is plus sign and then your proficiency bonus, and then you hit enter.
All right. And where could I find my proficiency bonus?
It's a 2.
It's a 2 for
Okay.
level 4. You guys should be at a 2, I believe. Yeah.
2. Does this work? Yeah.
There you
Damn.
go. Excellent. You made a very, very delicious meal.
Do we get buffs?
At my
No, but you're
level, not
feeling
yet.
good. You're feeling good though. You're feeling full and definitely satisfied by the meal. This was really good. And Rhea, his first breakfast that he made for you was good. Okay, but this is getting to be on par with the stuff that you grew up eating. I mean, this is
Damn.
like really good.
Damn, you're a good cook.
I
Oh,
told you.
thank you, little one.
I'm gonna feed some to Nightmare.
Okay. He enjoys especially the rabbit. Okay. So what about you, Galdor and Jacob? What are you guys doing?
I think Galdor would like take a moment and not venture off, but like go because we're in a wooded area, right?
Yeah, you guys are actually, if you look at the world map, and you can kind of see the different icons for where you're
Hmm.
at. This is a very heavily wooded area. It's mostly deciduous trees, maybe a few evergreens here and there, but mostly deciduous trees, and it's pretty thick. Uh, really, there's not a lot of room between the trees. It's that thick. It's very heavy and dense, with the exception of the road, and then off the road every once in a while, there's enough space. Like you guys found enough space to set up a camp if you so choose. But other than that, it's pretty thickly wooded area.
All right, yeah, Galdor would like to go a little bit into the forest and I guess his version of kneel down
Okay.
Grace.
Hmm.
Hmm.
and then eat a few mushrooms and then
Grace.
send up a prayer to Melora.
All right. Okay, so you go ahead and do that, and you're finding it very, very peaceful here, and you actually feel a sense of calm come over you, calm and relaxation, and you're feeling pretty good.
Nice.
All right, Jacob, what about you?
Jacob would have Hrim kind of head upwards into one of the branches of the trees, just kind of get a bit of the lay around them,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that things are safe
Okay.
for sleeping for the night.
That's a whole new term to bird's eye view.
Yeah. All right, and he does. Rim just shoots right up into the canopy and finds a nice branch to perch on, and you've got a very good view of the road and your campsite and kind of the immediate area right around. But then, as since the thickness of the vegetation and the amount of trees, you can't see too far out. Maybe another, you know, 30 feet away from the campsite in all directions, with the exception of the road. You can see clear down either direction of the road. And as you got your camp set up and you guys are doing your things, you eventually settle in for the evening. And I need a watch rotation. How are you guys going to handle your watches?
Diana would admit right off the bat, she is not the type of person you want to keep up all night, so you're probably going to want her to either wake up later on or let her take the first, hour and then let her go to bed. She gets very grouchy if she doesn't get her beauty sleep.
Rhea's already just
Just saying.
popped into the sack with Nightmare to start looking at her dagger and be like, What is this?"
Okay. Well, while you're in that sack, you notice when you are uh, in a darkened environment with that, it glows,
Cool. I'm gonna look at it
and
more.
it puts out some light. Not super bright. You'd guess probably equivalent to maybe a bright moonlit night.
Okay.
Okay. So it sounds like the rest of you, are being kind of abandoned to watch duty.
All right. I'll stay up with Diana to take this first watch.
I'm only staying awake for like an hour, then I'm going to bed.
Yes, I know.
So useful.
And you guys
Well,
do
at
it
least you get my tail as a pillow, so you
now.
can't bitch.
Now you do realize too, yeah, and you would all know this having travel on the road, especially those who travel with the casters of spells, that in order for those of you who use magic, you need to be
All
able
of
to
us.
get a good 8 hours of full rest. But at the same time, because you're all, having to break up the night, that really, depending on how you break up watches and stuff, basically means about 3 4 hour shifts of watch so that everyone can get 8 hours of sleep and at the same time you've got the night covered just in case there are you know things that go bump in the night.
Diana, to help those who are sleeping first, would actually play a very calming, low melody using the lute to try and keep people into a deep sleep rather than.
Okay, so you do that, and I'll say yeah, it's helpful. Those who are not up on first watch, you actually fall asleep relatively easily. I mean, so far, although it's only been a day of travel, this has been pretty relaxing, pretty comforting, and it's been a nice little journey thus far. So you kind of drift away to sleep without much problem. So that establishes first watch, it looks like. So who's got second and who's got third?
I could take second watch.
Yeah.
Quick question. Could Hrim technically keep watch by himself while Jacob sleeps?
That's entirely up to Jacob if he wants to do that.
And then, just wake Jacob up if something is spotted?
Entirely up to Jacob if he wants to do that, but yes, it is technically possible.
Prim
Sorry,
needs
bro.
to sleep.
Say again?
Hrim needs his
Prim needs
Hrim needs
his,
his beauty sleep.
I'd like to keep him on my good side, and well, don't like bossing him around too much.
Oh, so what? Am I just a special case? Don't answer that.
All right, so what it sounds like you guys are doing is first watch is Jacob and Diana for a little bit, then Subtle, second watch, and then Galder, that leaves you with third.
Got it.
All right. Um, recommendation, once you've established a good watch order like this, as long as you have, the same people, that typically you just kind of say, set that as this is standard watch and what we'll do. That way, whenever we come to a nighttime when you have to bed down somewhere that you want to have watches set, you can just say, yep, we're doing the standard watch rotation. Okay? All right, so first watch. I'm going to need perception checks from, well, Diana, you're asleep by this point, so
Oh, okay.
so I'm going to need a perception check from Jacob/Hrim.
Now, I'm curious, did you do the perception check on the
Uh,
shoot through
well,
Prim, or?
Well, there was one problem. I could not actually. I may have put it in there. Yes, actually, I did. I did look up the stats for the owl, and I put the made the necessary adjustments. So your perception is actually Hrim's perception. So if you click on that button,
Really?
that's exactly what it is.
So,
Hrim
There you
gives
go.
no shits tonight.
So your watch goes by. Nothing seems to be happening. You don't notice anything. And eventually it's time for Subtle's watch. So you wake him up, and you head off to bed.
All
So
right.
I need a perception check from you, Subtle.
All right. So while Dana was trying to lull people asleep on her watch,
Diana.
I'm sorry, Diana, Subtle is actually going to eat some snacks. So every once in a while you hear like him snacking, so it sounds like eating potato chips.
Okay.
Thank
But
God she's
yes.
gotten used to that.
I will roll your perception. 23.
All right. You notice at the kind of the edges of your vision, there seems to be a little bit of movement in the underbrush. And as you look around, you kind of notice it in several different places.
All right. I will wake up the bird and just ask him to be on guard, and then I'll investigate the bushes.
Okay, so you're gonna walk over to where the bushes are.
Yes.
Or him.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. So as you walk over towards the nearest source of movement that you saw, and
If it's the goblins again, I swear to God.
come on, that's what I wanted, right there. And there. There we go.
It's the goblins again.
Give me a second. And I can move you guys to the correct spot.
Why is there always goblins?
Alright. And now I can move this over. Okay, so you should have a new map that is visible on your Roll20 screens.
Yes.
And you guys are going to be, you are right there. You can see where I pinged for you, right there.
Yeah.
And you see the movement kind of to the south of you.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and start moving in that direction.
So it would be around here, in this area.
It's a little further to the south. Yeah, down there where you pinged.
All right.
All right. Now, but don't move any further from there. I need another perception check from you.
Sure thing. 16.
Okay. The movement appears to stop as you get closer. And all you can see at this point is just bushes and trees, and there's a slight, very slight breeze, so there's a little bit of movement of maybe some of the grasses, but not like what you saw before. And I need everyone to roll initiative. Okay, just hold on 1 sec. I gotta clear the screen to start it over.
Oh, that's good. My initiative was terrible. I welcome the chance to reroll.
So are we all re-rolling? Or
Yeah, if your name is not on there, please roll. Just click on your icon, then click on the initiative thing, and it'll add you right to the initiative tracker.
did you get my message?
No, it may have been buried. Okay, I see that. Okay.
Just a heads up.
Yep. All right, so that's everyone there. And where are you?
How tall are these trees?
They're pretty tall. This is a pretty old forest. Is pretty large, so you'd see, some of them are shorter, some of them are around like 30 feet tall, but the majority of them are closer to like 40 or 50 feet at the
How
top.
high are the lowest branches from
Lowest-
reach
lowest-
range?
Lowest branches probably about 10-15 feet
Okay,
on
cool.
some of the smaller ones. Some of the bigger ones, the lowest branches are like 20-25 feet in the air. So, Galder, let me arrange by ascending. Let's see. There
What
we
the?
go.
What
There
are
we
you?
go. Okay, so Jacob, you are currently asleep. So what happens next is all of a sudden you see coming out of the brushwork, subtle, you see what looks like a collection of sticks that charges straight for you. And it comes
Shoulda,
up
woulda, why?
and it reaches out two branches that almost look like arms with, you know, twig-like claws on the end and attempts to scratch at you. And it misses.
All right.
And another one you see, uh, come here, moves out towards you, and you start to see these things coming around from, it looks like, damn near everywhere. As you start to see all these little stick-like creatures
All right.
charging towards you.
I
And
have to ask, is it catnip by any chance?
not that you can tell. It doesn't have that same tang to the scent of them. But one of the other ones goes ahead and takes a swing at you. And let's see, what is your armor
It's
class?
16.
16, and this one misses as well. Okay. And the rest all moved towards you, but they didn't quite get to you. But then another one that looks a little bit different. It almost looks more like it is made up uh, of of pine boughs and with like pine needles on it. And it comes towards you, and then it shoots a bunch of needles off of its body straight towards you, and luckily they manage to hit into the side of a tree next to you and barely miss you.
I like how my character is like 4 feet wide and still everybody misses him.
I am the size of the square. How can you miss?
A second one comes out and shoots needles, and this one actually hits you.
How many of these are there?
A lot. Quite a few.
Okay, you know what?
And you
Just burn it down.
take 6 points of piercing damage as these like oversized pine needles jab into your flesh.
All right.
Okay, Galder, you are still asleep. Okay, now the vine blight, if I can find him, where is he? Comes up, and it looks like a mass tangle of different kinds of vines, and it attempts to reach out with some of its vines and grab you. I need you to roll a strength saving throw.
Ooh, interesting. Uh, I have advantage against grappling when it comes to strength saving throws. I can add my, no, it's not advantage, I'm sorry. I can add my Constitution modifier to it.
Excellent.
All
Okay.
right, so that
So
would be
so
plus 2.
just click on the saves button to
Yeah.
roll the saves, and then we'll just add 2 to it.
All right, so that wouldn't be in core stats.
It should just be saves, the button at the top.
Oh, okay.
If you click
If I
on
could
the
just find
saves
it.
button, it actually rolls all your save for everything, and then you just take the appropriate ones.
That
So
is so cool.
strength save, there you go. You got a total of 17
Yep.
because of that plus 2. And so these vines reach out for you and attempt to grab you, and you manage to just duck and weave and kind of move out of the way, which is surprising with how large you are, that you're so nimble. But you've surprised this creature that it was expecting to grab you, and it completely missed. Okay, so that is its turn. It is now your turn.
All right, I am going to attack this one.
As a reminder, your companions are still asleep.
I am aware of this. I will attack this one with my quarterstaff.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about this. It's my first time battle with your interface.
No problem. Okay.
How do I? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a 14 to hit.
That is indeed, and it was this one right here. You said you definitely hit him, and your quarterstaff comes down and just breaks through all the branches that make up this thing's body, and it just now looks like a pile of sticks on the ground as it is gone.
Great. I will use my bonus action to attack this one with a claw attack.
Okay.
So that's 21 to hit. But my
And
damage is
your
0.
damage did not roll correctly. It rolled
it's
0
1d4.
plus 0. 1d4.
It's a d4.
So just /R space 1d4. There you
1
go.
damage.
So you smack that one, and it's not happy. You managed to kind of tear through, and a couple of the twigs snap, but it's still there in your face.
All right. I will then run to my allies. I understand I'll get 2 opportunity attacks against me.
Yes, you will. So the one that you just attacked takes a swing at you and hits, and as you're running away from it, you feel these, like wooden claws dig into your back, doing 2 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And the other one, if it'll actually go to it, there we go. Okay. All right, it attempts to hit you and misses.
Okay. To wake up my allies, that would be me shouting. Is that a free action or?
That is indeed a free action.
All right. So I'll ask all my allies to wake up.
Okay, I need everyone who is asleep to roll a perception check.
Like I said, I like my beauty sleep.
Don't worry about it, because all you needed was a 10, so everybody made it.
Hey.
Okay, because you wake up, you hear this, wake up, noise coming from your companion on watch, Subtle, and you all wake up.
I apologize to everyone in advance.
And you hear coming from to the south of you, you hear him, yelling and obviously in conflict with something. You hear these other noises. They're not super loud, but now that you're awake, you can hear, and it really sounds like branches crashing together, and kind of that scraping sound of wood on wood.
Guys, we're being attacked by cinnamon sticks.
I apologize to everybody.
Well, no more apology necessary, because it is your turn. So
I'm gonna do the thing. She doesn't like being spooked.
Okay.
So, all any of you hear from Diana when this first happens is, I just want to go back to the burrow! And the entire area is instantly cast in frost.
Okay. So, how does your spell work again? What does it say on the spell description when you click on it? Since I don't have yours memorized.
It's a 20-foot cube that gets covered in frost, and everybody has to do a dex save.
Okay. And is that the one that's emanating from you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm fine.
Okay. So.
Sorry, guys.
Everybody
do I
around.
roll the frost spell?
Well, I'm actually pulling up your sheet right now so I can see the specifics on it to make sure. Okay. And there's the spells, and that's the ice field, right? Yep, that's ice field. Okay, so where are you currently at? You're right here. So it actually does not catch you. Oops, I moved you.
Why'd you move me?
Wasn't trying to. Trying to
Congrats.
click off of you, so it'll. There we go. Okay, you were up one. You were up next to Oak.
Oh, okay.
Don't
It's
do that,
still a
guys.
20-foot. So
Actually,
it's a 20-foot cube.
20-foot cube, but it's a 10-foot radius centered on you. So what that means is, subtle, you are actually not in
Where
the
does it
area
say
of
that?
effect. Right in the spell description, if you click on the spell itself.
Yeah, I'm reading it. Each
It says-
object in a 20-foot cube range within range is
Oh,
covered
so
in a
this-
magical
this-
layer of frost.
Okay, so you're doing
And
frost.
efficient-
You're doing
yeah.
frost, not ice field.
Yeah, I was saying frost, like specifically frost.
Okay. Well, that's within range. That's not the one emanating from you. That's within 60 feet of you, so you can pick an area within 60 feet of you. Ice field's the one that's just right around you.
Because she's spooked, she doesn't plan it. It just goes poof,
So you basically center it right on yourself.
like right in front of her. Yeah.
Okay. So this, and again, a 20-foot cube is basically a 10-foot radius,
Okay.
which is kind of the same thing.
So anything.
so
How do I do the dingy?
what you make? You mean the ping?
Yeah, the ping.
All you got to do is left click and hold on
Okay.
wherever you're pointing.
Anything from this square.
So you're doing it to the square right next to you and not centered on yourself.
Yeah, like
Okay.
right in front of her.
Okay. So that means everybody
But
Needs to
because
make
it's in
a
front of her,
dex-
it doesn't.
needs to make a dexterity save.
Sorry, guys.
DC 12. Okay. Okay. All right.
Sorry,
So,
Rhea.
okay. So, all right. What that one does is you are now covered in a layer of frost. Okay. And for the duration of this spell, which is concentration up to a minute, so on your next turn you can drop it if you so choose. But for the duration, objects and affected creatures can easily be seen even if they're invisible. Any attack roll against an affected creature or object has advantage if the attacker can see it. If the affected creature or object can't benefit from being, and the affected creature or object cannot benefit from being invisible. So basically, any attacks against you guys that failed to save, which would be Rhea, okay, are at advantage. If you made your save, you're fine. But basically, a kind of almost like a cloud of ice momentarily shows up in the atmosphere right around you guys and kind of settles down as almost like a layer of snow, and everything in that area is covered in frost. Okay, with the exception if you made your
Oh.
if you made your save. No, Nightmare doesn't need to make a save. He's non-combatant unless you. Same with Rim, unless you say I'm putting this my familiar or my pet in combat, then they're not a target. But the second you put them in combat, all bets are off.
Hey, be happy I chose Frost and not Winter's Blast.
Yeah.
So
So you cast that spell. Make sure you mark it off on your D&D Beyond sheet.
I don't know how.
All you got to do is click on cast right next to it.
But did that do it? That did it. Wow, I have a lot of spell slots.
4.
And 2.
Yeah, 4 first level, 2 second. So you cast that. So right now, Rhea, you are covered in a layer of frost. Everyone else, it kind of melted away from. You managed to kind of dodge out of the thickness of some of those ice particles in that cloud and didn't get covered in it. But the ground is totally covered in it. So that is your turn. You still have...
Oh, that's just a full turn.
Well, that's your action. You still have a bonus action. And you are still sitting on your butt because you just woke up.
Yeah, so she'd fumble a bit, but she would stand and notch an arrow.
Okay, so
and she's like, I am so sorry. I don't like surprises. That's all you get out of her.
Okay, so just so you know, standing is going to take half your movement, so you still have half of your movement available.
Doesn't it only take half to just notch the arrow?
It takes none to knock the arrow. That's
Yeah,
considered part of your movement. That's pretty much a free thing to draw a weapon.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm sorry.
Okay. You still have a bonus action though, if you so choose.
Um. Hang on, I'm looking. Um. How does this work again? Hang on, I'm looking for something specific and I can't find it. How does the bardic inspiration work again?
Basically, you say, I'm going to use my bardic inspiration, and then you are giving a 1d6 to somebody you pick within a certain range. Basically, what is it? 60 feet. So a creature within 60 feet, you are giving them a 1d6, and you have 2 bardic inspirations between long rests. So you could, you would check one of those off, and you could say, hey, this person, you now have bardic inspiration. So
Who's
now,
our heaviest hitter that's not oak?
It would be me next.
yeah, is probably either between the druid or the monk.
What?
As far as
Not Rhea?
well, as far as she implied like melee damage.
Oh.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
heavy
not gonna,
hitter.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'll wait for
that
that then.
that
Yeah,
bardic
he
that
should.
bardic
I'm good.
that bardic inspiration, that die can be added to an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw. Their choice.
Yeah, not spells.
No, not spells. But it could be applied to a spell that has an attack roll, actually.
But yeah, she would just end her turn with standing up, notching the bow, and going, "I am so sorry."
Okay. So it is now Rhea's turn.
I'm pissed.
Sorry.
I'm pissed. I'm
You
pissed.
are in the sack, just woke up.
freezing, by the way. Fucking
Yes, you are.
freezing. Alright,
I'm sorry. I don't handle surprises well.
it's fine. It's fine. Can I move 10 feet this way?
Yeah, it's going to take you half your movement to get up
That's all my
and out.
movement.
So if half your movement left, so absolutely you can.
Because I only have 25 movement.
I think your movement's what, 25?
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. Yep, you move there.
Can I see through these trees? Like, can I see over here?
Yeah,
right
you
there.
guys, you can see far enough. It is nighttime, but you guys have a nice big campfire, and I will say that there is enough light from it that you can see basically to right about, because your campfire is going to be somewhere in this area right in here. So you can basically see right to about 40 feet away clearly, and then beyond that, it's really hard to see things because they're in shadow. But you can see there is something right there.
Okay.
You can clearly see it. But the rest of the stuff is a little bit hard to see from this distance because you don't have dark vision.
Alright, in that case.
And she's gonna light the forest on fire. This is a Rhea thing. She always does this.
Alright, so I'm going to use control flames
Okay.
on our campfire to double the bright light.
Okay. Very good. So you now can see from that. You can see out to 60 feet easily. Okay. The light is doubled, but you're still kind of limited on your distance of vision of seeing clearly. So I'll say about 60 feet. I'll even give you 65. Okay, you basically can see right up to the edge of the road almost. Okay, from wherever that's how much light is cast.
Okay, so I can see these things now. Alright, cool.
Okay.
I'm going to then...
So that was your action to cast Control Flame?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'm going to use Meta Magic Quicken Spell.
Excellent.
And cast Shatter.
Ooh, very
What is
nice.
Shatter.
A spell.
Well,
and
obviously.
it is a con save DC 13.
Okay.
And I will
And
apply it right probably here. Ping,
where
like,
at?
boom.
Right there. Okay. And
So
what is the
it's
radius on that?
10 foot.
10-foot radius, and you are applying it right where the point, the end of that arrow was, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yep, that is going to hit.
All but this one.
Actually, it's well, the way the spells work. Okay, you actually, when you center a spell, you really center it in a corner. Okay, to get the right template for distance. So basically, 10-foot radius, you are going to hit a 4x4 area. So like if you placed it right at that corner, then you would hit that one. Ah, darn it! Hold on, I
Well,
double clicked on it.
it's a 10-foot sphere, not cube.
Yeah, but I'm allowing it to hit those edges because otherwise you're only going to be able to hit two of them
What?
from placing it if you place it there. If you place it,
With the 10-foot radius, wouldn't it hit them
yeah,
all
no,
except this one? If I placed it there.
not
Here, I'll make
not
it
really
bigger.
because you actually have to choose on your measuring tool, snap to corner. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so you see it would hit, if you put it right at this corner that I'm at, you'll hit this one, okay, so the one I'm on right here, this one right here, this one right here, this one here, and this one here. Basically, you'll be able to get five of them.
Wait, wouldn't it hit this one too?
Now, it hits
Oh.
this one, but not this one. Actually, double check that arrow real quick. Might hit that one.
Oh, not that one.
Nope,
Okay.
because that's, yeah, so you'd hit five of them, though, if you put it there.
Okay, I'll hit the 5
And
foot.
you said it is a con save, right?
Yep, DC 13.
Okay, so I have some saves to roll here. All
Um,
right,
and if they
con
succeed,
there.
they'll take half damage, which will be. Because they
Okay,
might just die depending on how weak they are.
yeah, roll damage so I can
10 if they
see.
fail, 5 if they succeed.
Okay, so in that case, that one,
Well, if he dealt 9
that
damage and
one.
one of them died, you're good.
Maybe.
Okay, so come here. Boop. No, not what I want. I keep clicking on the wrong thing. Darn it. That's the one I want. All right, so you have definitely hurt all of them with your spell, but 2 out of the 5 are still standing.
Okay.
But the 3 of them, you see just it was shatter was the
It was
spell, so
shatter.
3 of them just break apart and fall as piles of sticks.
There was a, good old
Mhm.
lightning shatter thing.
Yep. And then the other 2 that are still up, they're not looking too good, but those are the ones that you can see them. They look like they are made up of pine needles and pine boughs, and they're still up, but they definitely, a lot of their needles, when you hit that area with that spell, they basically kind of blew off of them. They're still moving around, but they're not looking anywhere near as good as they were. All right, and I assume that's all for your turn.
Yeah, that's everything I could do.
Okay, Jacob, you are awake, still on your butt.
Oh, oh, that's oh, there's ice.
Sorry, Jacob.
Jay will get up. Uh, gosh, he would. Oh gosh, so I can move. That's cool. Does this
Yep.
give me a
Remember,
good
use
sight
half your
on?
movement.
Right.
Use half your movement to stand up. Okay.
hmm I wanted to really just get here.
Okay.
Do I have a pretty clear sight onto
Yeah,
that?
because of the.
Yeah, because these are just the tops of trees, the trunks. are obviously smaller and towards the center. So yes, you can see again pretty much most of them thanks to the increased firelight. So
Oh, you're just gonna watch a little cinder of fire, and then as he shoots out a firebolt towards that.
okay, which one are you shooting at?
Uh, this one. I don't know how to. That one.
That one right there. Okay. So go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay. Because I'm a noob.
How many arrows can Diana fire off in one full
It's four
turn?
slash
Right now, just
right?
one.
Okay.
It depends on your level. Basically, there's a feat, or not a feat, but there's a class feature called Extra Attack that, for like fighters and rangers and barbarians and stuff like that, they get that as they level up. Okay. And that basically gives you, more attacks in one action.
So she can't use her bonus action to shoot a second bolt off?
No.
And then I'm sorry to roll. It's /R
Yeah.
Yep.
Forward
Forward
slash
slash
R
R.
space.
Yep. Space
space
1d20.
D20 whatever I needed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Just wanted to make sure.
There you go. You definitely
Damn.
hit it. You definitely hit it, so roll your damage. As a fireball streaks from Jacoby's hand when he wakes up, stands up, takes a couple steps, looks towards the source of all this noise, fires off a bolt of flame that hits directly into the dead center of that mass of moving vines. And it sends out this just ear-shattering screeching noise as he hits it squarely. And you definitely heard it. I mean, there are scorched vines and everything, but it is still moving.
Uh, Jacob would just kind of turn and look in Diana's direction. Are you all right? Is everything good?
I don't like surprises.
That would end Jacob's turn.
All right, so it is now their turn. Okay,
Yes,
as
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
these two move up and they fire at the two closest targets. One shooting at Rhea, and you get pierced
I would cast
by.
shield.
You'd cast shield? Okay, so boom, as these needles come directly towards you, you throw up your shield and they get deflected away at the last second. And the other one is shooting right at Subtle and misjudges the distance and they fall just short of him.
Are you comfortable?
It is now Galder's turn.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stand up.
Okay.
Notice the frost and now the fire that's being sent out, and I will gladly move.
I need help.
Bam, right there.
Okay.
And I will, as a bonus action, I will look at my club and cast Chalet on it,
Okay.
and that's pretty much it for me.
Okay. So now this one moves straight up to Galder
Oh.
and
Are
and
you content?
attempts to lash out with its vines towards him.
Bring it.
And I need a I need either an athletics or acrobatics check. Your choice.
Athletics is better for me.
Okay, it does not manage to
Hmm.
grab you, but its vines slam into you as it tries to tangle you up, and the impact causes 11 points of bludgeoning damage to you.
Ooh.
All right.
Uh-oh.
That tickled.
It is now Subtle's turn.
I am going to help my ally. I'm sorry, does flanking exist in your world or not?
No, I don't
Okay.
give bonuses for flanking.
Then I will go right here and attack the big dude.
Okay.
Okay, come on. Where are you? Alright, I'll use my quarterstaff.
All right.
So that is 7 to hit.
And that misses as the vines part, just as you thrust forward with the end of your staff, and the vines kind of part around it, and it hits air.
Alright, I will use a key point to do Flurry of Blows, so I could do 2 bonus attacks.
Excellent move. Go for it.
And I'll use my claws. So that's 26 to hit.
That's a natural 20.
Oh, cool.
So that is double damage of 1, so 2 points of damage.
Yeah!
Okay.
Ooh.
And I'll
And,
attack it one more time. 19 to hit.
and that also hits, and looks like doing 3 points of damage.
Alright, that ends
All
my
right.
turn.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yes.
I literally forgot. Since it's a reaction, could I cast Halo Spores?
Yeah, you could. What does it say for the reaction on that?
Is whenever a creature moves 10 feet within front of me.
Oh yeah, then definitely,
Oh,
absolutely.
shoot.
Okay, so it's a con save.
Yes.
All right.
Not a lot of damage.
Okay, so. Okay, so you unleash these spores towards it, and unfortunately it rolled really well, and so the spores land on it, and it doesn't seem to be affecting it. Great. Okay. All right. Anyway, so that was your reaction, and Subtle, that was your turn, right? So it is now back to Diana.
Oh. Hello. If she moves right next to Jacob, can she see all 4 of those right in front of her?
Yes,
If she
they are
moves,
definitely within the your visual range and the line of sight.
how do I do
And
the
the light.
line thing?
It's if you go to the little thing on the left with all the different little
Yeah.
icons, it looks like a kind of a little half of an angle with a ruler pointing out of the right corner. It's right above the
Okay.
eyeball.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
Question: if she moves like right here,
Mhm.
could she angle an arrow just right to try and hit 3 of those in a row?
No,
If it's a flame arrow.
no. You can only, unless you have something special that allows you to do things like that, you can only attack one target at a time.
I thought I'd ask.
Yeah. Never hurts to ask.
Okay, so she is going to move next to. Okay, before I move, if she moves next to Jacob, can she have Jacob just make a ball of fire without him needing to?
You've got a campfire right there.
Well, there's a reason I ask, because it's a set of.
Yeah, but no, if you wanted him to do something like that,
Okay.
you would have to move and then say, I'm going to hold my action until Jacob is able to, on his turn, like conjure a ball of fire for me or something.
So can she pull out like 3 arrows and light them on fire and then move next to Jacob?
I would say yes, but you're only going to be able to shoot one arrow at a time,
Yeah, she's just gonna hold the other 2
yep, and I'm going to
in her
say that,
mouth.
and I'm going to say that that's going to use up your move and bonus action. So you'll
Okay,
have your
but not the
action
attack.
no, you'll still have the
Yeah.
attack action.
That's all I care
So you
about.
still shoot one.
And then from here. Okay, cool. Easily within reach. And then she will do a fire arrow
Mhm.
and hit that one.
Okay.
I just don't know what damage to add with the fire.
I'll add that. You just roll your attack, and if you hit, your damage.
Okay, and my attack was. Give me a second. I have like so many different things open. My bad. Because I had to check a lot of things. Load. Okay, it's a 1d8 plus 2.
All right, so you shoot your arrow. Well, that's the damage, but you gotta hit it first.
Oh, I forgot how to. My bad.
You gotta roll the attack first.
Do I get a? I can't remember. Do I add proficiency to that?
Yes,
Okay.
it should already be added in on your D&D Beyond sheet. You should be able to see what your attack is with your bow.
Nothing's in there.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't see anything. So if it is, it ain't there.
There's no way
Okay.
it's only a +2.
What page would it
Yeah,
be
thank
on? Because when I went to weapons, it wasn't.
Well, it's
It's
not on
under
weapons. It's
actions.
gonna be on. It's gonna be under actions. You have a plus. You have a +6 to hit with your longbow, so that would be a total of a 12.
I'm still trying to find
attack.
where your
It's
actions.
under actions.
I'm not seeing action.
Do you have the full screen open of D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
Okay. It should be over on the right. You see where you have your initiative, which is +3 in your armor class? Look
Yeah.
directly under that. There's a huge window, and the
Oh, I
first
thought
choice
you
is
meant in roll
actions.
20.
No. D&D
Like there was
Beyond.
already a button. Yeah, that.
Nope,
I
D&D
forgot to
Beyond.
add the +6. My bad.
Yeah, so that's going to be a total of 12. So as you shoot your arrow, it goes straight for it, and then at the last second, this thing manages to move to the side, and your arrow slams into a tree.
Sorry, I thought you meant like I had a thingy on roll
No.
20, and I got confused, and I'm like,
That's
I don't know
okay.
what the fuck I'm putting at this point.
That's okay. All right, so that would be your turn.
I still got 2 arrows left, so ha!
Yeah, you do. It is now Rhea's turn.
The tree's on fire, though?
You'll just have to wait and see if the tree catches on fire.
Oops.
Alright, I will cast Shatter and hit, like, these 3 over here.
Okay. All right. So once again, that is a con save. So go ahead and roll your damage for that, so I know how much.
18.
Okay. So no save necessary.
I'm not fucking around anymore. I'm cold. They
You're
didn't
like,
release the
That
frost.
sucks.
I'm still freezing.
That sucks.
so
About how long is per turn? Like, how much time passes?
6 seconds.
That sucks.
Turns are 6 seconds long. So, all right. So Rhea, you cast your spell. That was your action.
Yep.
And you, as you do that, the 2 needle blights, as they are called, the ones that were shooting needles, the last of their needles just fly off of them and they fall to the floor. And the 1 twig blight way down there that you hit, it just completely almost evaporates. Nothing's left but a small pile of twigs from it.
Alright, I will bonus action consume a first level slot for my font of magic.
Her what?
And now, wait a minute, where did my... somehow, my twig blights came off of the darn turn order sheet. They went bye-bye. They shouldn't have. So I got a turn skipped to those. I'm going to have to add them back in. That's probably because I killed off the one that I rolled with. Or you guys killed off the one I rolled with. Alright, and that had been... It was right near the vine blight, so I'm going to put it at 11. Okay, and there, and we were on Rhea. Okay, so we're going to come back to you, Jacob, but I get a turn with some of my guys here that got skipped. That was my fault, but so
Wait, so am I undoing what I just did?
no, you still would have gotten off what you did. I'm taking their turn now.
Oh, okay. And I would also yell at good old Diana that if she doesn't release the frost, she's next.
That sucks.
All right, so
Threatening me doesn't get you anywhere, so guess what, sweetie? Enjoy the snow.
I will shoot you next turn if you don't drop it.
You gotta flirt with her.
Threaten me doesn't get anywhere.
All right.
Enjoy the snow.
only 6 seconds. You guys don't have time for a conversation. So it is now Jacob's turn.
Jacob is going to move nowhere. He actually is kind of comfortable where he's at.
Okay.
He's gonna forward again with another firebolt.
Okay. All right. So, and you're attacking the vines
The-
again?
Yes.
Okay. That hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Alrighty.
All right. So you smack it again with a firebolt, and it sears some of the vines. And they're smoking a little bit, but it's still up. It still seems to be moving about.
Alright, well, that was something.
You still have a bonus action and your movement.
Instead of moving forward, I will send Prim to Galdor and cast Dragon's Breath through the range of touch
Okay.
to give
All right.
him the breath of a red dragon and have Prim fly back to me.
Okay.
Nice.
So you now
You
have
have a
Dragon's
pony
Breath.
who breathes fire.
You have Dragon's Breath on you there, Galdor. And it is your turn.
The one thing I'm probably never gonna use.
Just use it.
Heck no, we're in a forest.
It doesn't
You-
have to be
Um,
fire, actually.
It
Does
could be
it?
anything.
Yeah, it can be lightning.
No.
Yeah, but he specifically said a red dragon.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're
Never mind.
typically fire breathers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We're also fighting plant life.
my lord
Hence the
wouldn't like
fire.
that. Alright, so, Galdor will, I'm trying to decide what he's gonna do real quick. Oh, man.
Another good thing from, I don't know if this falls under your rules, but Dragon's Breath normally doesn't spread.
I thought it was a
Well,
cone.
no, I think
The
she's
previous
saying
ones I've-
the fire doesn't catch other things on fire, just PCs.
Oh.
Um, well,
At least,
that's
you know,
not.
every other campaign I've played, that's how they did it.
Well, it's one of those things. It's just simpler not to deal with that, but at the same time, in certain environments that would definitely have the possibility of being more flammable, like, oh, we're fighting this dragon while it's outside of this, wooden tavern, and we're shooting arrows out of the windows at it, and it's breathing at us on this
Well,
wooden
yeah,
tavern, or we're in the middle of a forest,
but
and
he's
there's a lot
also
of
got the fire
dry,
of the dragon.
and hey, there's possibility of fire spreading. Okay.
Or we set the ceiling on fire with oil.
Yeah.
No, like that has actually happened so far.
Oh, God.
It went well. Nobody died.
Alright. So I will attack with, my good old Shallade club.
Okay. So go ahead and make your attack roll.
Alright. I actually wonder if it'll pop up if I just do it this way. No, I'm not doing it. It's too much work.
If you guys need help with macros for your attacks and stuff, I can help you with those things too.
I'll test it. I think I set it up correctly. No,
Oh,
I did.
looks like you did. All right, so yes, you absolutely hit it, and you smack it really hard, and I mean, it felt that. It seems like it's not moving nearly as quick as it was before.
All right.
It's not. It's definitely not happy. And that was your action, correct?
Yes.
So you still have a bonus action and movement if you so desire.
The only way I can use my bonus action is if I move. I guess I will end my turn.
Okay. So now it is finally back to the normal order of where these go. So that one moves up there. That one moves up there.
Oh,
And
okay,
that
so
one
there was
moves
another
up
one. I
there.
couldn't see any.
Yeah, they're hiding in the forest.
They're made of sticks. They blend in. Okay. So 2 of them go after you, Subtle.
All right.
The first one can't seem to find purchase on you as you are, just pounding away at the vine one, and you're just moving and dodging and weaving, and it misses you. But the second one hits you pretty squarely in the back because you were focusing your attention towards the other, causing 4 piercing damage.
All right.
The third one takes a swing at Galder and just doesn't know what to think of trying to swing up high compared to it, because it's a very small creature and it's trying to go for your torso, and it's not used to attacking something so tall compared to it, and it just misses completely. And that is all for their turn. So now it is Subtle's turn.
All right. Before we start my turn, I just want to apologize to all of our viewers who know how to play a monk. I get it. I messed up during them blasting things at me. I understand now that I could have used my reaction. I'm so sorry. I've learned my lesson. I will attack this one with my quarterstaff.
All right. Go ahead and roll for your attack.
All right. Ooh.
Oh, another crit.
Whoa.
Another crit. And yeah. So that's going to be. Well, you rolled an 8 on that, so that's doubled. So that's 16 plus your 4. So you just did 20 damage to that thing.
Wow.
And you just, obliterated it in one shot. There
I
are
mean,
twigs flying in all directions from that blow.
you could give him like a sweeping thing,
Nope.
given how high he rolled.
Nope. It's not how the rules in 5th edition work.
I'll then attack this one and use it as a scratching post with my claws.
All right. Go
I'll
for
use my key point to use the real blow, so I could
Okay.
attack twice.
All right. Go for it.
So that's a fail.
Yeah, the first one misses. The second one does hit, and you manage to just rake your claws right through it, and it just falls apart.
All right. That ends my turn.
Yep. It is now its turn.
Alright, since it's starting inside of my 10-foot radius, I am going to Halo Spores it.
Okay. And it was con save again.
Yeah, I love these ones.
And what's your DC?
13.
13. So, this time it seems to have some effect on it, but it is not a lot. It seems pretty beat up, but this is definitely, not as damaging as you thought it would be. All right, so it is its turn, and now I need from Subtle, Galdor, and Rhea, I need strength saving throws.
Is it against being grappled or not?
Yes, it is.
All right.
I do not not want to be grappled.
You can add a 2, but I'm pretty sure a 6 fails.
Yeah. All right.
Golder is
So,
the only one who's like.
yeah. So
Don't touch me.
these vines just in a 15-foot radius all around. So they are hitting, quite a big area here. They just fly out, and some of them just wrap all the way around Subtle and around Rhea, and they try to get Galder, but are not able to hold on to him very well. Subtle and Rhea, you two are both restrained. Okay? So you now have the restrained condition.
What is that, by the way?
That is an excellent question. I will read it to you here in a second. Alright, once I pull this up.
Because a previous DM I had did it weirdly.
This is just straight out of the books, straight out of 5th edition and its rules. So there it is, restrained. Restrained creature's speed becomes 0, and you cannot benefit from any bonus to its speed. Your speed's 0, period. Attack rolls against a creature that is restrained have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws as well. So that's what happens when you are restrained.
Yeah, because another DM I had, the way they did it was you had to roll a strength saving each time until you beat the DC. Until then, your turn just got skipped.
Well, that's, if you hold on, is you are currently restrained. Okay? On your turn, you must use your action to make another strength saving throw to see if you can free yourself. Okay? Or someone else can try to make a strength saving throw to try to free you, okay, as long as they're within reach, and it does cost them their action. So, you have to spend your action to try to break free. Okay? But it doesn't say anything about bonus actions. So if you have some kind of bonus action you can use that applies, you can try to break free and then still use a bonus action to do something. That's how that works. So it doesn't completely kill your turn, but damn near. Okay?
Okay. That explains why they did it that way.
Mm-hmm. So that's its turn. It is now Diana's turn.
And she is gonna do another fire arrow at that one.
Okay.
So it's the first, does it even hit? Clearly not. Did I do that wrong again?
No. Yes, you did. It's +6.
Oh, +6, not +2, or is it +2 and +6?
No, it's just +6.
Oh,
Just
+6?
Yeah,
So
you got a 15. So roll damage as your
Okay.
arrow flies right past
1d8
Rhea and
plus-
Galdor and impales right in the center of the mass of vines.
What's the additional fire?
I'll add that. Don't worry.
Okay. 3.
Okay. And
Nope.
as you do that, the vine creature collapses, and Subtle and Rhea, you are no longer restrained.
That's why I did that.
Okay. You still have a bonus action and movement if you so choose.
How long has it been since Frost was casted, though? If each turn takes 6 seconds, this
It's
is
been
my
3
technical
rounds.
third turn, and if it's 6 seconds per turn.
Mm-hmm. Basically, 10 turns is a minute.
Okay, so 10 of mine, or just 10 in general?
10 period of the entire thing. Basically, everybody acts, this entire turn order acts in 6 seconds. And that's a full turn. And then it goes to the next round.
Then shouldn't it just be dissipated by now?
No.
Mm-mm.
With how many
No.
creatures in everything?
Everybody acts in the same 6 seconds. People aren't just sitting there
Oh.
like, for example,
I thought it was like
no,
Diana's with 6 seconds and then Rhea's with 6 seconds.
Nope.
And okay.
Nope. Basically, like here, right now, Diana's at the top of the turn order. It's not going to take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not going to take 36 seconds for
Okay.
my Vine Blight. It's not just going to stand there for 36 seconds while you guys wail on it. It's going to be moving and acting and everything. Everything happens in 6 seconds.
So she has a movement and a bonus action left?
Yep.
Okay. For her movement, instead of moving, can she just look at Rhea and go, "Are you going to apologize for threatening me?"
You can say that. Rhea, free action to respond.
Just remove it. It's cold.
Are you going to apologize for threatening me?
You're the one that made me cold.
Okay.
That's not what I'm asking.
That's enough time. That's.
She didn't get an apology, so she's not removing it.
Okay. It is now Rhea's turn.
Am I allowed to shoot Diana?
Hey, like I said in my whisper to you, but at the same time, it's your choice.
You didn't apologize.
I'm gonna shoot a fireball at Diana.
Okay. Roll your attack.
And this is why no one likes Rhea.
And that just hits. So you take 10 damage as Rhea firebolts you. Okay.
Surrounded by a party that doesn't even know her.
You are literally, like, you have a debuff on her that you can stop at any time.
And you threatened her.
Yep.
And now you have to do a constitution check to see if the debuff stays.
You do. So you have to do a constitution save, and you will need to get a 10 or higher on it to maintain the spell. And so, nope. So the frost dissipates.
Yeah, but now she's going to shoot Rhea in her sleep, so...
Well, that'll have to wait because it is Jacob's turn.
So watching how tall is Rhea?
Like
She's like
3
50.
feet.
Yeah, she's a 3-foot tall halfling.
Okay. I just wanted to know for
2'8",
future reference.
I think, is the
Yep.
exact measurements.
You will see this electrical surge go through his hand, and he's just going to point and hold it, looking at Rhea. You try something like that again, we are going to have a problem.
Can I respond?
As long as you make it quick. Remember, this is only 6 seconds of time.
I'm not cold now, so no.
I'm still going to shoot her in her sleep.
That'll have to wait.
So he will hold his action to if Rhea goes for Diana.
Okay.
To cast Shocking Grasp.
Okay. So that is your turn, so it's back up to Galdor.
I have not noticed any of this as I'm not facing y'all.
Nope. You do see one
Would
still
you hear
moving.
it, though?
One still moving creature. How many battles have you been in? Lots going on. And
No, just the comments in general.
I would just.
How many battles have you been in? Trust me.
I'll move my 2, and I will once again attack with my club chalet thingy.
All right. Go ahead and roll your attack. Roll your attack.
This is a lot going on.
That definitely hits, and as you do that, the cartoon peril is no more.
Okay.
All right. You are now out of initiative, and all these fun little creatures have been destroyed.
I have a question. Are they edible?
Oh,
I don't know. You can always try that. I mean,
Praise Melora.
they're plant-based. If you really so desire, you can always give it a shot.
I will try to taste one.
Okay.
Or remove right here.
Which one in particular?
One of
The
the smaller
stick-
ones.
Okay, so one of the stick-like ones.
Yes.
Okay. Tastes like a twig.
Yum.
Okay. Is it nutritious? I mean, does it have does it have vitamins or?
It tastes like a twig.
Okay.
Don't worry.
We got some firewood, guys.
Can we cook a halfling?
Oh no.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's happening here?
Yes. What has happened?
Apparently, the halfling thinks it's a good idea to attack her own party members.
Apparently, you think it's a good idea to keep your party members freezing during combat.
At least it doesn't do damage.
I asked you to remove it, and you didn't.
After threatening me.
Galdor's gonna look at the space right in front of him and cast Healing Spirit. A giant mushroom's gonna appear, and he's just gonna whisper to, well, not really whisper, because he's saying it out loud. Inhale its spores, and you'll be healed.
I will also cast Healing Light on Diana and be like, I didn't mean to hurt you, but I needed to not be cold.
You could have just apologized.
Well, I'm gonna heal you for 1d6.
Dragon's breath would have dropped, so it's gone.
I'm glad.
I heal you for
I got 9 out of 10 back.
But, DM, I have a question.
Yes.
So, since Healing Spirit is a concentration spell,
Mhm.
and every turn, so every 6 seconds, they're able to gain health back,
Yes.
could we not just inhale deeply?
How long does
12 seconds.
and how long does it say? 1 minute concentration, up to 1 minute, right?
Let me double check.
Yeah.
Yep, up
Verify.
to 1 minute.
Yeah. So yes, basically, you know,
Deep breaths.
So is it
you've got
health per second? Or
yeah. Well,
not per
what
second,
is
but
the what is it per round that they get back according to the spell?
It's 1d6.
1d6. So you get a minimum of 1 point per round. So you're over a minute. That's 10 rounds. So you're gonna get a minimum of 10 back. So
Sweet.
I would say, you know, if you have, I'll even use the average that you get from a D6, which is 3.5. So I'll say if you have 35 points or less of damage, if you maintain that for the whole minute, you got all your hit points back.
Yeah, because he rolled a 6.
Yeah, so initially
Yeah.
healed 6, and then...
Yeah, that's why I was just going to use the average, because I
So
don't even think
everyone's just,
anyone.
like, fully healed.
I don't think everyone or anyone except maybe one or two of you have more than 35 hit points. So
I took a nice blow to the face. Well, legs. There we go. I'm fully healed. And let me burn a slot.
I'm sorry for shooting you, though. I get kind of jumpy in fights.
Look at it this way, kid. At least it wasn't one of my spells that was meant to deal damage.
That could have been bad.
Let's all just inhale deep. Like, don't
I swear
worry.
you're a stoner!
Rhea's gonna start walking back over to the horse to go interact with
Diana
Nightmare.
would pause and point to Rhea and go, I'll make you a deal. If I get to sleep with the puppy for the next 2 nights, I'll forgive you.
Oh,
No, I gotta
Oh.
train him.
I'll help you train him, but I get to sleep with him for the next 2 nights.
How good are you at? You did give me that tip earlier, and that was
And I'm a
working.
literal canine. She would just gesture to herself like, I'm literally a canine.
All right, if you promise to help train him, sure. And
a horse.
I would go and hand Nightmare to Diana.
I got a puppy.
It's still mine
But I got a puppy.
for now, until he dies in
Wow.
combat, which is going to happen.
For,
depends on if you start putting him in combat or
I
not.
will.
Well,
I'm training
Then-
him for it.
Be-
Be, combat.
then
It's okay.
beware.
I know, but he's got to do it. He's got to be a good boy.
As for what I said, crisis averted. But I got a puppy. She's just literally holding Nightmare to her like, mine for now.
Alright, Ray's gonna hop in the sack and go back to sleep because I'm fucking tired.
Okay.
I'll
All right. So
cover
that's.
I got a puppy.
for last watch.
Does everyone go back to sleep except for Subtle to finish out his watch?
Oh.
At that point, Diana's screwed. She's not falling back asleep, so she's just gonna sit there holding the puppy all night.
Train the
Okay.
puppy!
I will definitely go to
I'm
sleep.
gonna,
Since
like,
I can't sleep,
Okay,
I will
so-
try to train Nightmare.
So Galdor's going back to sleep.
Until it's my turn to wake up.
Okay. And Rhea, you said you climbed into the sack to go back to sleep.
yeah.
Okay. Subtle, are you going to stay up and finish out your watch, or are you going to let Diana handle it since she's up?
Oh, I'm gonna be
Oh.
focusing on Nightmare.
Gosh.
You are muted, it sounds like, Subtle.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, I will keep watch for the
Okay.
rest of my turn.
Okay. And Jacob, going back to sleep?
Having trust in the two that are up, he's going to go back to sleep.
Okay. So everyone who said they're going back to sleep goes to sleep. Those of you who are up, the watch finishes out.
But
You'll
puppy training. Because I said I'd
Yeah.
train Nightmare.
Yep, and that you can be doing that while you're on watch.
Oh, I didn't know if I had a roll for it or not.
We'll deal with that later. Okay. But now it is the end of Subtle's watch. He wakes up Galdor. It's your watch. Go ahead and give me a perception check on your watch.
Oh man, I haven't even got the chance to.
Okay.
He's crying.
I didn't do my
And-
morning ritual.
And you don't notice anything because you are pretty enthralled watching Diana try to train this puppy. So you're really not paying too much attention to what's going out and about around you. But fortunately, your watch passes without incident, and you all wake up. Okay? Despite the interruption, since you did 3 watches, each lasting 4 hours, you do all manage to, even you, Diana, I will allow, to get the benefits of a long rest. So you can go ahead and click long rest in your D&D Beyond sheet and confirm that, and that's going to get you your spell slots and hit points and all that stuff back. Okay? So it is now morning time, and you guys head out on the road once again. But before we do, why don't we take about a 10-minute break real quick, and then come back, and then we'll continue on the road.
All right.
Anything happening during this break, does it get cut out of the recording?
Nah, not really.
Sounds good.
When I'm streaming, yes. We'll do something about that. But for when I put it on YouTube from the stream, I can easily do it. From here,
Yeah.
not as easy.
Diana very easily forgives. It's just she expects something as like incentive.
I mean, Rhea did
Yeah, and you
heal
guys can
her.
continue to roleplay amongst yourselves if you want, but I need a
Can
quick
I just
break.
keep rolling animal handling for a while?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact,
Just keep-
you can roll for every 10 minutes until you get a 10 or less, and as soon
Okay.
as you get a 10 or less, then Nightmare
Lucky
is
the very
no
first one.
longer interested. He just won't pay attention and won't do what you say at that point.
Watch it be the very first one.
Okay, it could be.
I will laugh.
Hey!
All right, so I will be back in about 5-10 minutes or so.
He said
Alright.
10 or less, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
God, we'll go in his trees and
There we go.
go pray to Melora as we,
Out
as
of
we
40
call
minutes.
Booyah. It's easier to train a canine if you're a canine.
I've got a question, Diana.
Yee.
If you play fetch with the dog, who is the one that's gonna grab the stick?
it. Both.
Are you guys gonna fight for the stick? Is that what's gonna happen?
Okay, if she's in her fox form, she will legitimately play fetch with somebody. But if she's in her human form, because she doesn't have her full shifting yet, if she's in her human form, it has to be a squeaky toy.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna invest in one of those. I'm gonna get my revenge.
She loves squeaky toys. You don't understand. She will sit there
Jacob
just
will
chewing
remember
on-
this.
He already knows. But she will literally just sit there chewing on a squeaky toy continuously. Like there is no stop. All you'll hear is squeak, 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 squeak.
We could just give a squeaky toy to Rhea, and Rhea can train Diana.
There we go. So finally
Like,
stop.
she
You're
will
leaving
keep
everyone.
chewing on that toy until the squeaker breaks.
You see, Jacob can just make one for an hour.
If you give her a squeaky toy, she will just sit there chewing on that squeaky toy until the squeaker breaks.
Gosh, now what's the real question? Which one does she like more?
Ability checks?
She prefers squeaky toys.
Would she like the squeaky tea? Huh? English is my
Squeaky
first
tea?
language, I promise.
Squeaky
Squeaky
tea.
toy, or the brothel life?
The what?
Yes,
The brothel
what?
life.
The Baraka life?
I
Brothel,
heard
as in like
brothel. Like the
place.
whorehouse?
Yeah.
Oh! Okay, so just because Diana sleeps around doesn't mean she would work in a brothel.
No, it's just the lifestyle of said
Yeah,
thing.
no, she doesn't like the idea of being owned.
Diana, roll a d4.
Actually, hang on.
We keep the dog going.
Yeah.
Don't think Oh, wait, no, that was Dalian couldn't be charmed.
You're not charmed. I'm guiding you. It's a good old.
Oh, is this for the animal handling?
Yeah.
To add a... Okay.
I pat your head.
Roll a d4, see if you get it.
Yeah, you need 3 or higher.
Mm-hmm. You never know.
I
we
got
might
a
be able
4.
to-
Hey,
So
we
do I
keep
roll
training.
animal
Alright,
handling
50
again?
minutes.
Yeah.
Or would that old add to the 17?
That would add
to
to
the
the
7.
7.
It would add to the 7.
Okay, so that would bring it to 11, which means I can roll again.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
training.
So 50 minutes,
Yeah.
an hour.
Damn.
Aw.
There's no way
You
to
do it
save
for an
that.
hour.
Yeah, I'm done there.
Good news, Raya. I trained your dog for a full hour.
What else can I do?
I don't think she's even at her computer now.
Oh, she ran away.
Fucking pseudo-woodos, though.
They out here.
Anyone want some shrooms?
Okay, in a situation like this, I feel like Diana would go to raise her hand, and I have a very high feeling Jacob would be the one to put her hand back down.
I'll I saw it. He gives you a wink. And cast guidance when you're done. That only lasts a minute. It's my version of a bardic inspiration.
My version of bardic inspiration. Oh my god, I wish Jason
I literally
would
just try to
keep
put
that.
this on top of this.
That vodka,
Nice.
though.
The bottle.
Okay, now the wine is hitting me, though, because my face is burning warm.
I was like, my face is, it's been warm.
Hey,
I got a
Jason!
nice blush.
Jason! Quick
Yeah.
question!
7. What?
Actually, no, so he gave me, a
Guidance.
thing called guidance, which added 4 to that. So
Yep,
she
well, a
technically
1d4.
trained him.
Yep.
So she trained him for a full hour.
Okay, excellent. All right.
But question, if Galder was suddenly to just give somebody a shroom, would that count as his own quote-unquote bardic inspiration?
No, I was saying guidance
No.
is my version.
No, guidance is his version of it. It is a cantrip, so he can.
Knock
He can
off.
yeah,
It would still be funny, like, here, have a mushroom. You're
I
good.
mean, you can say that that's your way of giving guidance is giving a mushroom.
Yeah.
So you can say, hey, I'm gonna give this person a mushroom for guidance.
You're our drug dealer.
It's not drugs, it's connecting you with Melora. No, she is all about being praised.
Is that good? Actually?
All right.
All praise Melora.
I don't know where the Kit Kat went, and I don't know where
gosh.
Raya went.
Oh no, the world changed.
They'll be back. They'll be back. But yeah, I just had to run down to the front desk and get a new drink and a snack.
Knackums.
So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So we should be back
Okay,
on the world
I
map
should
now.
warn you. Apparently, I've had a full glass of wine. My face is kind of warm, which means I'm kind of hitting that point. He's been drinking vodka.
It's vodka and water.
Share. Oh.
Well, the vodka. Let me advertise. We are not sponsored by
Not our members
Eddie
guys can
Lemonade.
do it. You can't
It is
legally say I'm
amazing.
doing anything.
I don't know
Yes.
what the fuck you just said, bro.
You said
That's
something
good.
about legal.
He said something about not being old enough to legally drink, I think.
Something
Oh
like that.
yeah, you're only like
Oh.
19, huh?
Don't worry, I'll give you some shrooms.
You're a
You know what? I'll
baby.
take the shrooms.
Trust me, I've been at many a D&D session where with my buddies where yeah, there was a little bit too much drink going around and kind of
See,
had
for
to
me,
end the session early because no one could really focus on what was going on because we were just a little bit too far gone.
for me, I wouldn't mind doing a drunken shenanigan night,
Oh my
but if we
gosh.
were to ever do that, aside from Jacob, of course, because you're not old enough to drink,
Hey, I'll just sit
I
here
would
and
want it to be
laugh at everyone.
planned to be like an entire side. Doesn't affect the story at all. It's just shenanigans. Shenanigans.
On our way to
XYZ.
Ocarina,
Just have a
Ocurious.
quick beach episode, you know.
No, I
That-
don't like when I drink. I'm not that bad.
I can
Yeah,
get
me and my friends in our local group, where we pretty much have something to drink every session, and usually we don't get that far gone. It was just one time.
Yeah.
So,
But,
you know those really big wine bottles, like the really big ones?
hmm
I can finish one of those in like 15 minutes. And if that happens, I am gone.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey.
yeah.
Pink Moscato's the shit, okay?
I will give you that.
All right. So,
I don't know where Rhea is.
Rhea, are you back? I'll take that
I don't
as a
think
no.
that's a no. Especially because it was a full 10
Okay.
minutes, and it hasn't been 10 minutes yet.
Yeah. Like I said, 5 to 10. So it'll be.
Rolling 1d20 plus.
Yeah, I'm testing stuff and it's just
Yeah.
not working. Okay.
The fact
I can
that
I can
the
help you guys
fact
out with macros and stuff like that you can make yourself for common rolls.
I need
or
to
stuff
add
like that.
something for her bow in roll 20.
It's
so that
real.
way-
It's real easy. I will. Let's see. Sometime this weekend I should be available if you've got time. Sometime this weekend.
I'm off Saturday.
Okay.
I'm off Saturday
I'm-
too.
Hey!
I'll be traveling back home Saturday, so it depends on what time I actually get home. But I will message. I'll message you on Discord, and if I've got time and you've got time, anyone who wants to, we'll connect on Discord and we can go voice chat even. And anyone who wants help setting up macros, I can help you with some pretty simple ones that I use just for rolling. Like, oh hey, I want
What kind of...
to plus whatever.
Is it a strength or a dexterity attack with the longbow?
Dexterity.
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 I think.
Or
if
is it finesse?
anything,
No, it's
I'd
dexterity for
Okay. To hit... Okay, how do I add... I can't change the damage. Is it damage
Here.
dice? Okay, it's 1d8 plus 2.
Let me take a picture.
Don't worry, like I said, I'll help you figure out the macros on this weekend. If anyone who wants help is available, I'll put a message out in Discord when I'm available, and then whoever wants help.
I take
We'll
it the
just link up.
plus stat question mark is the proficiency.
There, I sent you mine.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't know that I was good at roll 20. I guess I am. I've lied to everyone.
I'll wait until later
God,
because I
that
want to
hurts
try to
my
get
eyes.
one for just spell attack
Okay.
Spell
Yeah.
attacks, I might be able to help too.
rather
Yeah.
than just specific spells because the spell attack
Yeah,
rolls
well,
should be
there's-
the same through all of them.
So,
Yeah. There's one I can.
damage.
There's some that are easy that I can show you
Alright.
that you can use
I-
for that.
Think I did this right.
Hi.
Test it out. Hey,
All right.
welcome back. Hey,
Everyone's back.
Did I do it right?
Yeah, looks like it.
The
Let's-
crit damage is off.
Okay, now how do I add you to my little bar?
Oh, up there. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, if you look up in your at the top of the chat window stuff where you got all those icons,
E.
there's let's see, where did mine go? Darn it, it's hiding. under the one that's next to the gear, it's got 3 dots. It says collection. If you click on that, it's 3 dots and 3 lines. It's in the upper right next to the little gear icon.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 dots and 3 lines. If you hover over it, it says collection.
Add.
You click on that in macros. You click add, and then you copy whatever you typed in that worked right into that macro. You give it a name, and then when you save that, it's going to show up under your macros, and you can click on in bar, that little checkbox, and that will add it down at the bottom of your screen.
Okay, does that automatically do the longbow that I had saved?
It does
No, it does
whatever
not.
you typed.
Oh,
whatever-
shit. Fuck. Okay. One
Diana just
D
So like
20
so
plus.
like if you typed R, 1d20 plus 6. If you typed something that looked like that, minus the quotation marks on either side, into that macro,
Mm-hmm.
then when
Okay,
you
so.
click that button, that's what it'll do. That's a very, very simplified version of it. There's others that you can do that are more complex, that do more things.
Okay.
But all right, enough of macro training.
yeah.
How do I add? Hmm.
Okay, so
Okay, so 1d8 plus 2. Is that including my proficiency already?
no, that you don't get proficiency for damage, just for
Okay.
your attack, which is 1d20 plus 6. And that's already calculated in there.
I was like
Okay, let's
afterwards
see
I
if
can
this
help you for
works
a little.
then.
Yeah. All right.
Nope.
Okay, so now that we've got everyone back,
I'll figure it out eventually.
so this day 2 of traveling, as you're traveling along, you go through the day, and again, it's a fairly nice day out. There are pretty much no clouds in the sky today, and there's not much of a breeze, so it's actually quite warm. But you are still traveling through some pretty thick forest, and some of the boughs of the trees reach out over the road enough, so you are getting some shade as you're traveling. And the day goes by with nothing much happening. It's just a kind of a slog. You're just just traveling along. It's not unpleasant, but other than conversation going back and forth, there's not much going on other than just going along the road.
Question.
Answer.
How many hours is it gonna take for training for Nightmare before he can do what Rhea wants?
Yes.
That doesn't
That's the best answer I've ever
Has
heard.
he at least gotten enough training to know to just pick up the dagger by now?
We'll see.
Because I got a lot of like near
Yes.
20.
Yes, you did, but we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see.
Okay.
Remember, he is still a puppy.
Hey, puppies learn better than older dogs.
I know, but still, he is still a puppy, and he's really only had training for, in total, a couple days. So,
My dog learned how to
Alright.
sit in one.
sitting is a lot different from holding a dangerous object on the correct end in your mouth without cutting yourself.
Yeah?
Yeah, but generally dogs are smart enough when they sniff
No?
the
Not in this
blade.
world.
Yeah, they're
They're-
dumb.
As I like feel bad for my canine character. Rude.
No. You're fox.
Foxes are canines.
Yeah, I know. But I said dogs are dumb in this world.
Yeah.
Didn't say foxes are dumb. I said dogs. There's a
Fair.
difference.
Did we set that fire, by the way? We never resolved that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nope.
Lord. Thank Melora.
Mm-hmm. No, pardon me, I'm enjoying my snack here.
I believe it.
Alright, so, no, the tree did not catch on fire. Thankfully, it is a lot harder to start a large tree trunk on fire with just the small amount of flame on an arrowhead than you would think. In fact, it's very, very difficult in general to start a fire on a large living tree. You really need dead material or very, very dry material for small flames to actually catch and start a fire, and then for it to get hot enough to actually reach the temperature necessary to dry out and then ignite uh, living wood.
See, now Diana's pouting. She wanted to light a tree on fire.
Well, you can
I
go ahead and
am
try.
Hey, Rhea,
not.
What?
want to light a tree on fire?
I will
Why?
gladly
Why not?
stop y'all.
Alright, I firebolt the tree.
You hit it squarely. It scorches it pretty good, but doesn't catch.
I'm gonna be
Get-
nice. I'm going to be nice. And not
Is it
cast
not a
infestation on
flammable
you.
object? Because if it is...
Once again, as I said, it is a
Oh.
lot harder to
Which
light
is-
Alright,
living
I'm gonna-
things on fire.
I'm gonna cast
Especially-
firebolt like 6 times.
Again, still having trouble. The thing about Firebolt, while it does say that it will catch flammable objects on fire, Firebolt itself, it is not this super high intensity heat of flame. It's more like a flame impact. And what it's really talking about catching on fire are things like paper and things that you could catch on
Aim for the
fire.
leaves.
Yeah, things you could catch on fire just using a lighter, like a little Bic lighter, and just holding it there for a couple seconds, like a piece of paper,
Okay.
or some very flammable cloth, or a flammable liquid like oil, stuff like that. You could smack fireballs all day long into a large tree,
Mm-hmm.
and the odds of you actually catching on fire would be pretty low.
Alright, what if I used control flames if there was a flame nearby?
Then you have a better chance. It's still gonna depend on what material you're trying to catch on fire and what kindling is available.
Alright,
Aim for the leaves.
I'm gonna tell Dan I need a campfire next to the tree, and then maybe I can move the fire onto the tree.
What
and
about a
that might-
torch?
Torch would work.
Meanwhile, Calder's over here like, why am I traveling with you people?
Yes, I am ready. If you set a torch on fire, I am ready.
Well, she doesn't have anybody telling her no at the moment.
Galdor
and-
looks to both of you. Do not set the forest on fire.
Why not?
Melora does not want that.
But I'm not religious.
Well, I am.
Well,
and
you
that
have
is
a friend
offending my
that is,
religion.
and it's best to stick with his wishes.
Yes. I
He
do not
is the
want...
provider of mushrooms. Best not anger him.
Yes.
Damn. My own drug dealer cutting me off.
Once again, it's not drugs. It's to help you bond with Melora.
It's drugs. It's shrooms.
Melora
I
shrooms.
want to inspect my dagger in the sack and then go to sleep.
Okay.
Can I play with the
Yeah,
puppies?
well, we already did go to sleep, and then you guys are up, and this is the second day, and you've traveled,
I want
and
to play with the puppies.
nothing much happens that day. You guys make camp for the night,
I want to
and
play with the puppies.
and it is a peaceful night.
Oh, then
Nothing happens this night.
Can I do more training?
That's up to Rhea. It's technically her dog.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna inspect the dagger. Do I learn anything new?
No, not really.
Cool.
You're
What?
pretty sure. Give me another Arcana check.
Okay.
if you weren't in that back, I could help.
Well,
Okay.
damn it. Never mind. He is not having my shit today.
He was all trained out last night. He's tired.
I only want pets.
Okay, with
Can I
that,
talk to Nightmare?
hold on. With that check, what you figure out is that, I'm probably going to need to get an identify spell in order to figure out what this thing is.
Alright. I'm gonna ask the group, does anyone have an identify spell? I'm trying to figure out what my dagger is.
I can only seduce people and speak in multiple languages.
I don't, but I can get it.
Is the dagger an
If you're
animal?
that curious.
Yeah, I'm
What was
pretty
your question,
curious.
Baldor?
I said, is the dagger an animal?
No.
No, then I am no help towards you.
Can I talk to Nightmare?
Could
I've been
I see
thinking
it,
about that.
the dagger for a few moments?
I would hand the dagger over.
Is there anything I can learn from looking at it?
You can roll an Arcana check.
You want a shroom? Oh,
Okay,
shroom.
natural 20. All right, I will actually let you get this then. Um, you actually have seen something like this before, and that's the only reason that you know what it is. Um, you know that if you hadn't seen this before or something like this before, that you would definitely need an identify spell to figure it out. But you've actually seen one. Uh, this is a simple magical weapon called a moon touched weapon. This in specific is a moon touched dagger. And what it does is it shines out a light that is very much like moonlight, pretty much like having a torch, but without the need of a flame and without the need of lighting a torch, just holding it up and it will shine this light. However, it will only do so if it has been out in either the sunlight or the moonlight for at least an hour during that time. So it's either had like a good solid moonlight that it's been out under for an hour, or if it's had been exposed to the sun for an hour, and then that goes away. Basically it kind of charges up like one of those glow things that like a glow stick or something like that. You got to charge it up a bit, but then it glows for a while. This will do that same kind of thing.
All right. So the dagger, if you keep it out for a while in either direct moonlight or sunlight, um, it will gain the properties of glowing.
So it's a nightlight.
Awesome. Alright, I'm gonna take my dagger back.
Okay.
Can I talk to Nightmare?
Can you?
I have speak with animals.
You're training him. Your call if you want to cast a spell.
Hell yeah. I want to talk to the puppy.
Okay. So you cast a spell, and what does that one last for? I believe
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but all any of you would see is her just holding Nightmare like right here in front of her face going, "You're so cute."
I know. I know. I'm cute. As it
And
looks
and you're doing so good with your training.
Yeah, training. What? I don't know that. What?
The
Yes,
dagger.
I'm good.
the pointy thing. The pointy thing that I'm teaching you.
Stick.
Yes, harmful stick. I'm sorry, it's a bubble.
That's pretty much the extent of his
And she's
conversation.
perfectly fine with that. She's just cooing to this puppy and just playing with him.
And he's just perfectly happy to be, stick. Oh yes, I'm good. Good boy.
I'm sorry, it's a puppy.
He's just very, very happy puppy. Okay, but as you go to sleep for the night, and like I said, there's nothing happens during the night. It's restful sleep. Those of you on watch, very uneventful. You wake up the next morning. You head out on the road again on day 3, and come about 11 o'clock or so. A little bit before noon. You can tell by the position of the sun. You see up ahead on the road, there seems to be what looks like several wagons, all kind of moving in a westward direction, but they're a little slower than you, so you're very slowly catching up to them. Eventually, about an hour after you first spot them, you're pretty much right up on them, and you see 3 large wagons, and they seem to be loaded down with lots and lots of gear. And there are a couple people who are sitting on the wagons, driving the horses, and then walking along next to these wagons, you see 6 individuals kind of flanking them, 3 on either side. One of them, you guys notice, looks to be a young and fairly attractive tiefling woman. And you also see a kind of scrawny, skinny human wearing long robes and with a fairly full beard. But and he's walking along and he's talking to this tiefling woman. They're having conversation back and forth. Up ahead of them on that side of the wagons, you see probably one of the largest humanoids you've seen in a long time. He actually looks like his head stands about 7.5 feet tall at the crown of his head. And, well, I need a. Does anyone have a history proficiency?
Um,
Anyone with
He
history
does.
proficiency, or you're a bard, bardic knowledge, you can roll to see if you know what the heck this creature is.
That's a natural one.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 5.
Yep. Well, good thing it is a skill check. Okay, you can get a 1 and still get it. Both of you actually made it because it was a very low difficulty. But they are not. These creatures are not common, but they do exist and they have been seen around. You see a Goliath, and he is bare-chested with a looks like a bear skin loincloth, a huge greatsword strapped across his back, and as you kind of pull up near them, closer to them, you see he's got a grizzly bear paw on a leather strap around his neck. On the other side of the caravan, you see what looks to be some kind of dragon-like humanoid, which you've heard of these before as well. Uh, they're they're called dragonborn. Not very common, but again, a little more common than the Goliaths. Goliaths tend to stick to the mountainous regions. They're not typically seen down in this area of the world. But dragonborns are, so they're a little more common. And this dragonborn has red scales, and he is wearing what looks to be some kind of holy symbol around his neck. And following in his wake are two other figures. One hooded, wearing dark clothing. Not sure exactly if it's a human, an elf, a half elf. You can't tell because their hood is pulled tightly around their face. You can't really make out what they are, but they're about the same size as a human or an elf or a half elf. And then following that one and conversing with that one is a human man who is wearing a holy symbol with a long sword and a shield
Oh
that
god,
he is
it's
carrying,
Paladin.
and he's wearing chain armor. And they're all walking along on either side of this caravan, 3 on one side, 3 on the other.
Diana is a horrible person. Because the moment she sees that Goliath, the only thing that's gonna come out of her mouth is, I haven't had sex with a Goliath yet.
So that's what you see as you're basically approaching. I would say you're actually about 20 feet behind them, but you can kind of see because they're kind of these 6 figures. Every once in a while, kind of glance back and just kind of keep an eye on you.
I'm sorry, but with how Diana is, every time that Goliath looks at her, she's gonna grin and be flirtatious. Every time.
Okay.
Galdor, he'll he'll puff up his chest and he'll trot along a little bit further up to the Goliath.
Okay. As you
know
actually
when she's on you, right?
Yeah.
as you as
I'm
you
giving
actually
him-
as you actually come even with the last wagon, you notice the tiefling woman kind of looks back towards you, lets out a little whistle. The Goliath turns. You see the tiefling motion. And the Goliath kind of You kind of see from where you're at because you're not that far behind now. So he's kind of like. He turns around and he starts walking right back towards where you guys are, and the tiefling woman turns and follows right next to him and starts walking back towards. The other four seem to kind of take up positions around the caravan while these two approach you.
Diana would just be grinning all big, she's like, "Can we help you with something?"
And you hear the young tiefling woman responds, and she says, "I was just about to ask you the same thing. What's your business here?"
"Oh, we're on our way to Oceanica, but your friend kind of piqued my interest."
He looks over at you, goes, "I have that effect."
I'm not even surprised.
And the young tiefling woman looks up at him and she says,
Hi.
"Not now, Earthgart." And he goes, "Fine."
Did you lose power? What happened?
Sorry, my fiance came in. What?
I'll be back.
The tiefling woman looks up at the Goliath and says, "Not now, Earthgart." And he goes, "Fine."
Diana, keeping up her more than happy disposition, would be like, "Now, there's no need for that. I'm sure he and I could get along just fine."
The tiefling woman says, "Well, first off, we don't have time for any of that.
She just grins.
But speaking of this, who are you?" And she looks at both you and Galder, since I assume, are you riding on his back
Yeah.
again? Okay. So she looks at you two and your companions as she looks beyond you two, where the rest of you are about, 10 feet behind, catching up.
Ray is still in the sack, actually, on the horse.
Yeah. So, but you're
Has
catching up.
Has the horse stopped?
No.
No.
Okay, then
Everyone's still moving.
Okay.
Diana, keeping up, would just, us? I want to say we're a merry band of friends, but everybody has their issues. We're just on our way to Oceanica to figure some out for some priest guy thing, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just in it for the travel. Meet new people, get new stories, go about my merry way.
Like interests, I see. And your name? And this
Diana.
is the tiefling woman. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Mask. And this, as she indicates the Goliath, is Earthgard, my close friend. And you,
Just how close?
And she looks directly she looks directly at Galder. And you, your name, sir?
He's Galder.
Yes, I'm Galdor, the Spore Prince.
I see you worship Melora.
I do.
Interesting.
His mushrooms are the best thing ever.
I blush a little.
I have no doubt. And your companions?
Oh,
go ahead. You may bring them up.
Oh, so the big one, the kitty cat, that is, I'm trying to remember the name. That's Subtle. He's an amazing chef. Probably the best food you will ever taste on this side of the realm. The blind one with the owl, that's my friend Jacob. Bit of a bookworm, doesn't talk much. I wouldn't even try. And then we actually have a little one traveling with us as well, but she doesn't like sunlight very much from what I gather, so she's just asleep in the sack right now on her horse. And then the other one that you see is Oak. Honestly, he's just a giant puppy.
Interesting.
Puppy.
The owl would.
And you're a pony. Are you really surprised?
I am a horse. Centaur. I am a centaur.
You're a pony.
Yes, I can see that you're a centaur. And a mighty fine specimen.
I mean, if you want like 5 minutes alone with him, I wouldn't mind. I would be happy to talk to your friend here while you get to know each other.
I meant no offense by the term. It is merely a turn of phrase.
I see.
Per- Perhaps I can make it up to you. We have wine.
Diana would instantly jump up and go, I am down for a drink of anything.
Of course. Of course.
Drink, song, and pleasure, best things in the world.
Well,
So what are we doing?
please,
don't-
they may
I'm
they
sorry,
may
but
approach. They may
Diana,
approach.
Diana would instantly turn to Jacob, hearing that, and go, if you don't cockblock me again this time, I might actually get laid.
Oh.
Praise Melora.
You two, Jacob and Subtle, you see the tiefling looking your way and kind of waving like, come on, you can come closer.
Would we have heard this conversation?
Yes, you're
I
only
mean,
about
Diana's
10,
not
15,
quiet.
10, 15 feet behind. You hear them talking clearly.
Thank you, Lady Mask. We will be glad to partake in this refreshment. Would you have any wares to sell? By the way, we might be interested.
Well, for that you'll have to talk to the caravan master. This is their stuff. We're just providing
Protection.
security.
Now, as for your friend,
Would these roads be dangerous? Is this why you're providing security?
we literally got jumped by a bunch of twigs.
Ah, you ran into blights, didn't you? Nasty little buggers.
Oh, is
I
that
hate-
what they're called?
Yes.
Yeah, they're not edible. I did not very much care for them.
No, they're definitely not edible.
They ruined my beauty sleep. I hate them enough as is.
Yes, we
I
dealt
found
with quite such things. But please, we were actually about to take a break on the side of the road for a lunch. If you guys care to join us.
Didn't you
And Diana-
just say
Diana?
you didn't have time to stop?
No, I said we don't have time for certain things.
True.
Oh, I can be quick.
Oh God, Diana.
And she's just still smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob knows what to do.
And you see the you would all notice if you look. This whole time, the Goliath is just sitting there, kind of stone-faced. He's not saying anything, not frowning, but not smiling. He's just he looks like a frickin' statue, like an emotionless statue, just
Jacob
watching.
would wave towards it.
He looks at Jacob,
It's like,
You're so tiny.
and then he kind of leans over towards Mask and goes, "Funny little man." Then he back to not smiling. Mask says, "Well, if you wish to join us, then by all means. I know the caravan master was going to stop here shortly."
Diana would jump off Galber and happily nudge herself over by the Goliath and go, "We'd love to."
Well,
apologies.
She's unique.
Yeah, she's very excitable.
None necessary.
Well, if I get to spend more time with this one, I definitely will be.
So, you guys, I assume, are you gonna go ahead and have lunch with them? It sounds like one of you definitely wants to. But
Well, if
I
there's food, Settle is all in.
I would go
Alright.
and check on Rhea and make sure that stopped and ready to go.
Did
all
we
right.
stop?
So, no, we hadn't stopped. They were
Okay.
they were still moving at this time.
Okay.
But when you guys do say that, yes, you'll kind of break bread with them on the side of the road, for a break. You do see that within about 5 minutes, the caravan stops and kind of pulls to the side of the road, and the people in the wagons, who are driving the wagons, and a couple others who are actually sitting in the wagons with some of the all the materials that were in there, hop out, and quickly and efficiently, set up a small camp with a large campfire and start pulling out all manner of meats and different vegetables and some fruits and stuff like that. And they start busying themselves with preparing a meal.
What would Diana have? It would be a persuasion. Can Diana try to talk to the leader and the tiefling and insist that Subtle help with the cooking, given that he's
You can
amazing at it?
you can definitely ask if you mention that you would like to. The tiefling just says, "Well, yeah, just go talk to Sven. He's the caravan master. He's right over there."
Well, I was about to offer my services, but thank you, Diana. And I'll go to Sven and offer my services to cook up lunch for everyone.
And he says, "Well, okay. The more help, the merrier. I have no problem with that. Um, you'll you may have to convince Cookie over there. Uh,
Cookie.
yeah, and little nickname.
Would Cookie be the Dragonborn?
No, no. That I actually never caught his name. And Mask has joined you as you walked up here, and she kind of looks at him and goes, "Honestly, Manners, that over there, that is Sacris, and if you care to have a seat, I can introduce you to the rest of the Frostbreakers.
That would pique Diana's interest because she's always
I
enjoyed
need
the icy things.
I need anyone with history and or bardic knowledge to roll a check.
24.
I suck.
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby for the win.
You have heard of the Frostbreakers. They are an adventuring party, and they have been around quite a bit. They are known. They're very mercenary like. They're known for providing protection for a well deserved payment. Also for uh, being involved in some of the skirmishes between kingdoms where they have taken sides for enough coin and actually been very beneficial for whatever side chose to pony up the money to hire them. Typically, they're not sent on the front lines. They're more of the special forces team that goes in and does the special missions and takes out somebody important or captures something or finds a way to break a supply line or whatever. But you've heard of them. These
Have
guys
they?
actually know what they're doing. They're pretty well known.
Have I heard anything specifically of the North Cut, South Cut?
Um, you do know that they were involved with some of that. They were actually, uh, in fact, with your background, you would have seen them once before, not up close, but you saw a group that was talking to some of the higher ups and was then sent off on a mission for your side. And you know that mission went off very well, and you'd heard the name Frostbreakers mentioned when you asked about who the heck are they, who are those guys. But these guys have been around a while, and they're no joke.
Meanwhile, Diana's just over here hitting on the fucking Goliath and the tiefling at this point.
Rhea's gonna
Jacob,
like peek her head out of the sack. Why do we stop?
It's lunchtime.
Oh,
And we made new
sweet.
friends.
Oh, well, whatever. Do I see the Dragonborn? Like, is he within sight?
Yeah, everyone's kind of gathered around the makeshift campsite, and actually, Subtle, go ahead and give me another cooking utensils check,
All right.
I'm gonna
and
say,
then I'll come back to you, Jacob, after that with what you were saying.
That would be 14.
14. You definitely. I mean, they don't let you take over the cooking. but they definitely incorporate your help and your skill. And with that roll, you have improved a roadside mishmash into a pretty darn good meal. Nowhere near as good as the dinner you made the other night, but a lot better than it would have been if they had just done it themselves. And you can tell that people noticed. As they're chowing down, people have noticed. You even see the Goliath, who actually has an entire turkey and just chowing down on it. He's like, mm. Leans over to Mask, who's sitting next to him, and says, "You sure Cookie made this?" Mask says, "No." Points over to you, Subtle, says, "That one helped. Can we keep him?"
Do
I
I
don't
get to
think
say
so.
as well?
Do I bring a smile to the stone Goliath's face?
Oh yes, he is loving this food. He is. I mean, for him, this is a treat. He's been dealing with Cookie's form of food for a while now, and this is definitely an improvement. All right, Jacob, you were saying something.
It's very intriguing to be amongst such a powerful group.
And here I thought I was the charmer.
Mask looks at both of you and says, "Why, thank you. I take it you've heard of us."
Yeah, I've I've been around.
At that point, Diana would look over at Jacob with like a "what's with you" kind of look. Because he's not one for hesitation of knowing something.
Can I say, oh shit, a dragonborn in Draconic?
Absolutely.
Alright, I say, oh shit, a dragonborn in Draconic.
In Draconic. All right. And
And then I'm gonna
you
run to
see
the dragonborn.
as you start running over there, you see this red-scaled dragonborn. His when you say that, his head turns towards you. He looks over towards you, and he says, "In Draconic, you speak my native tongue. Very interesting."
Dragons are
And
cool.
why, thank you.
And
He
then
looks
I'm
at
gonna
you.
point out a little scale, like, under my eye.
Well, he was actually looking at you very closely, and as you do that, he said, I thought I saw something there. You have some dragon blood as well, do you not?"
Oh, can Diana have started to use her comprehend languages the moment she yelled in Draconic?
Yeah, you can cast a spell.
Sweet. So she knows everything they're saying.
Yeah, you can understand what they're saying.
Well, I don't know if I have Draconic blood, because, like, my parents weren't Draconic, but, like,
Oh no, trust me, somewhere you do, or
sweet.
that wouldn't be there. As he points out the scale that you pointed to him.
It's given me lots of powers. I can do cool things.
Very good.
Diana would just lean over to Jacob and go, "Somebody hit the jackpot."
I'm gonna, in fact, cast Scorching Ray on 3 twigs.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. You do that. It kind of shocks everyone. All of a sudden, this display of magic right in the middle of camp, and you know, Mask actually kind of jumps a second and says, "Jesus."
Yeah, she
Don't.
does that a lot.
Please be careful where you're aiming.
I
And
didn't hit
then
anybody.
Yeah.
the Dragonborn, who had introduced himself as Sacris, or you had heard that from Mask, depending on where you were, looks at you and says, "Very good. Maybe someday you can do this." He turns his head, looks over at a log, and breathes fire right onto the log.
Damn it, I don't have Dragon's Breath.
He says,
And
"Don't
Diana
worry."
would start nudging Jacob hard.
What?
And she just point over at Rhea and go, do the thing. Do the thing.
Hmm. Well, you know what? Can you do this? And I'm going to cast Shatter.
Oh
Uh,
no.
On what?
uh, Let me look at what Shatter does. Actually, no.
It
I'm just gonna cast Gust on myself, and yeah,
basically have your clothes kind of blowing all around
yeah,
you.
yeah. Be like, all right, it is powerful.
He says, "Yes, yes, you are."
Jacob, do
And
the
then
thing you did earlier.
then he takes his hand, which has claws on it, and he says, puts it out, nice and slow. It doesn't seem menacing to you.
Okay.
He puts it out towards you. He touches you on the forehead, and you hear, and it's in Draconic, but you hear what he basically says is, "A blessing be upon you." And you feel this energy flow from his hand into your head and then kind of diffuse throughout your whole body. And it feels amazing. You feel really, really good. Basically, he has cast Bless on you.
What's that do? I actually don't know.
Yeah, mechanically, it's not really going to do too much for you right now, but it gives you an extra D4 on saving throws
Oh, okay.
and ability checks, I believe, as well. I think
Yes.
so, yeah.
Mhm.
So it gives you an extra D4, and it only lasts for like 10 minutes.
All right. I'm gonna be
But
like, can you tell me about your draconic blood and your heritage, please?
he smiles pretty big with this big, sharp-toothed grin and sits down and begins conversing with you and just telling you pretty much everything he knows, about his ancestry and his background.
Cool.
Okay. Now, while that's going on, Galdor, what are you doing?
Uh,
Getting high.
Actually, Galder, I guess when they took Subtle away, like way back then, I I think he would have like snuck off into like a wooded area.
Okay.
He's just very apprehensive about these people.
Okay. So you're off a little ways in the woods.
Yes.
Okay. Um, while you're out there, give me a perception check.
Oh, yeah, let's revisit this. Oh, where'd my character dude go? There you are.
Okay.
Better.
All right. Good. I will come back to you in a second. Okay. While all that's going on, Jacob. So while you and Diana were sitting there, kind of conversing with Mask and with this Earthguard, Goliath, uh, when Diana mentioned that you were a charmer, you hear Mask kind of look at you and go, "Hmm, yes, quite." And then she says, "Well, we can't just eat and drink without entertainment." And she turns around into a sack and she pulls out a lute and she begins to play.
At this point, Diana's ears are just flat against her head, and she's just all of her good mood is gone.
And
Uh,
and she is playing a very kind of uh, upbeat, jaunty tune, and she begins to sing. And everyone seems to be enjoying it and watching it, and it is very, very good. And then when she gets to the end of that song, she turns and says, "And now for something with a little bit of spice."
oh.
She starts playing another song, and this one has a little bit of lewd connotations in it. And it's definitely all the guys in the caravan they all start singing along with her. They obviously have heard this one from her before, and they're all singing along with her and laughing as they come across the some of it very vulgar portions of the song. And then when as they're wrapping that up, Diana, you actually notice the Goliath, Earthgart. He's smiling pretty big, and he kind of looks down at you. His smile gets just a hair bigger for a second. I need you to give me your insight check. Remember, this is your chemo sense, so you get advantage on it.
Yeah, she's all of her good mood's gone at this point. Hang on, I don't know how to add is that already added in, or?
It should be. Yes, it is. You rolled low on both die.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
just.
Your
she's,
your
I think
your mood is clouding your
angry.
judgment.
And she's just like mildly growling, very quietly, but she's mildly growling at this point, and her tail's just thrashing behind her. She is not in a good mood.
Mm-hmm. And that mood is clouding your ability to see things, and that's kind of why you didn't really pick up on what that was all about. You're not really sure. You've never encountered a Goliath in person before, so it's kind of difficult to ascertain what he's thinking and feeling right now.
And it would be overly obvious to those who have been traveling with her for a good stint.
Mm-hmm.
Her mood's gone.
Okay. Well, that song wraps up, and Mass says, "You there, Subtle was the name, yes?
Yes.
Everyone, please give a big thank you and welcome to Subtle for adding some new spice to our meal today." And everyone except for Cookie is like, "Yeah!" And Cookie's kind of like grumbling all over in the
Diana's
corner.
with Cookie on this one, just the grumbling.
Mm-hmm. And then Mask looks over at you, Diana, walks over, and says, "I'm pretty sure I know what skills you're good at," and hands you the loot. "I'm sure you can do as well as I can. It's your turn."
And so Diana, appreciating the gesture, would actually hand her the loot back and go, "Thank you, but I prefer to play on my own. It's
Please,
for me."
please join in the entertainment.
It would be a little hard for her to get into it at first because of she's overly protective. So the look in the singing would have thrown her off
Mm-hmm.
horribly. She would try at first. Why are you trying to steal things, Raya?
Don't know what you're talking about.
But she would slowly get into it and slowly start to get a little bit better, and feeling like she can't be upstaged at that point because of her pride,
Mm-hmm.
she would match the sultry and overly deep tones
Mm-hmm.
and add to it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a performance check.
Fuck me.
Could Jacob assist
Yeah, her mood's done.
Okay.
by casting Flock of Familiars?
Ooh,
You know what? With that, I will allow that roll to be advantage, so you can take that 16 you just got, Dana. Or Diana. I did the same thing. I called you...
It's one
It's
letter.
Diana.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's one letter.
So basically a bunch of different, like, a snowy version of Frim, a wooded version of Frim, and then like a little desert version of Frim, all
Okay.
to start.
Okay. So,
I just have
well,
like
your song is...
cooing and chirping.
Your song is definitely entertaining. Everyone really, really likes it. And they're having a good time. They applaud you when you're done. You know that while it's clear that everyone liked it, you can tell that, you know, that mask character was a little better than I was. But you also know that, these laymen don't necessarily know that. To them, they were all applauding and having a great time, so at least in their eyes, you guys are equal.
Yeah,
But
no, Diana's still salty.
yeah, but you know that she kicked your ass if it when it came down to it.
Damn.
And Diana would just be like, well, that was fun. Jacob, so, and she's like trying to make sure he's not paying attention to Mask. Guys, about that book you were reading, didn't you see you just got to a new chapter?
Uh,
Mhm.
I mean, kind of. It was more talking about the more logistic versions of dragons' horns and how they're different from different creatures. And he would just kind of go into a quick spiel,
And
just like,
she's perfectly content, just keep your focus on me.
All right, so now,
one by one, the owls fade until it's just a little Arctic rim.
okay, okay. And everyone definitely likes that, and with the added showmanship of that, that's what really, kind of elevated the level of the performance. Uh, so, Galder.
But
Hmm.
Diana is self-conscious, and so despite talking to Jacob a lot and trying to keep his attention, she would be like unconsciously constantly glancing at Mask,
Hmm.
and her tail is still kind of like
Hmm. Oh well,
annoyed.
if you're doing that, you notice that every once in a while she just is kind of glancing over at Jacob.
Jacob's
Okay.
a poor innocent boy, leave him alone.
Galdor.
Yes.
So, while you are out there with that perception roll that you made, you notice as you happen to be kind of looking up in and letting the sun fall on you, there's something up in the tree up ahead of where you're looking. Probably, I mean, it's a tall tree and it's a little bit of ways from you. It's probably about the thing you're looking at in that tree is probably about 50 feet from where you stand. Going up at an angle. Okay, and it looks kind of like it is a large white oval, maybe about the size of, I don't know. It's hard to tell from here, but it's could be the size of maybe a large dog or maybe even a person, and it seems to be kind of attached or like hanging from a string up in the tree.
Okay.
And as you notice that, you also you look around and you see that there are more of them. And you keep looking around and eventually by your count, you can see that there's at least six, oh wait, no, seven, eight, there might even be double digits of these things.
Hmm. And all I know is they're white blobs in the air.
They're white, kind of oval shaped blobs hanging from a string, some kind of string, and they're relatively decent size.
There's no way for me to reach out to my friends.
Well, you
Um.
can go back, or you can.
Yeah, I don't trust this crew. I think I will. How long does that take?
And I'm gonna say that you said you wandered off into the woods. You're
Yeah.
probably no more than about maybe 200 feet away from the campsite.
Okay.
You
I
know,
will.
so you're away where you're by yourself, but you're not so far away that you couldn't get back there in a hurry, or you couldn't, you could yell and be heard.
All
You know.
right. Ugh, I don't want to alert them. I will. I'll go for. I'll cast Speak with Animals,
Hmm.
and I will look up to these floating things, and I assume I'm gonna try to talk to one of them, just saying
Okay.
hello.
Okay. You don't hear. You're looking up at one. You say that. You don't hear any response. Give me a perception check.
Oh man, Galdor, what are we gonna do? Oh, that was persuasion. I'm
Yep,
glad.
not perception. There, much better. Good thing you got
Oh,
perception. That's good.
nice.
Okay, so instead of hearing a response voice coming from the thing you're trying to talk up, which even if you walked up right under the tree, then it's probably still about a good 25 feet straight up from you if you're like right under it. So I mean, if you walk closer, you can get within about 30 feet of it and and see it. You're not hearing a response from it, but off to your right, up above in the trees, you hear a voice that has this chittering sound to it as it says, "Look, fresh meat." And then I need you to roll initiative. And this is where we are going to end tonight. So you'll roll initiative on the next session.
All right.
Okay. So that's it.
All of Diana's mood gone.
Okay. So you can go ahead and stop recording, Rhea, and let me know when it's done.
Oh, y'all are about to